Welcome in to Harrisburg, North Carolina for Week 8 of North Carolina High School Football. 485 crew here for you guys this evening. Mark Plemmons and James Melick with you guys. And, Mark, we got a conference matchup here.
Absolutely. We've got the Hickory Ridge Ragin Bulls hosting the Wildcats from Lake Norman. Lake Norman, over the past couple of years, has been one of the top teams in the Greater Metro 4A League. Hickory Ridge has been toward the middle to the top, and this year, though, they're struggling just a little bit. They're looking to find their legs, and they hope to get right here on homecoming here at the Ridge.
Yeah, I agree with you. You know, they've kind of stumbled a little bit this year, had a tough year and tough start to the season. The Ragin Bulls have lost one of their big stars, Christian Hamilton, to UNC just last year. So lost some talent, but Jupiter's still now trying to rebuild that team after losing a quarterback as well last year. And he's on that uptick, but like you said, Lake Norman, one of the strongest teams in the state, 4-2, entering conference 1-1. And you'd have to think they're hungry after taking a loss last week in a game that they were, more than likely considered a 2-touchdown favorite.
Yeah, and they fall to, I believe it was West Cabarrus. And
that's correct.
Of course, Hickory Ridge coming off a really tight, close seesaw battle that they lost very close to South Iredale. If you're Hickory Ridge, you're hoping that Lake Norman looks at that 0-7 record for the Bulls and maybe looks a little past them. If you're a Lake Norman fan, you want to get right and you want to just see an opponent across the way but not see the record.
Yeah, you don't want to look at the record. You just want to come in there and play good football. Because you pretty much know, I'm not saying this is nothing mean here, but you pretty much know when you're 0-3 in conference, your chances of making it into the playoffs pretty slim. Now you just want to come out of here, build in the momentum for next year, and outlook at your opponent's next record, and enter each week trying to be 1-0, not 0-1.
And, of course, fans out there, if you're looking for a video of this game, the video will be on the NFHS Network. It's through the automated pixel-lock cameras. We are trying to send our audio to that, but so far this season, we have been very unsuccessful with that, except when we're at Central Cabarrus, as things would have it. But anyway, that's why we're doing an audio-only broadcast. And if it happens to show up on the Hickory Ridge Pixel-Lot, then that's a bonus because we've got it hooked up the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, we'd definitely like to have more people joining us. We're going to have a good little game here. And while this game's going on, if this one turns into a lopsided game, I want to remind you that we have a crew at another game real quick. They'll kick off at 7:30.
Yeah, down at Mount Pleasant, Larry Honeycutt Field, Michael John Stadium. John Von Cannon, Chris Hudson going to call the game between Union Academy and the Mount Pleasant Tigers, a big Yadkin Valley matchup, a conference game there. That will be on the Radio Free Cabarrus Facebook page. And, again, that's audio only. Again, the video, of course, going out on the NFHS Network. But, again, an audio-only broadcast on our Facebook page.
Yeah, like you said, big game down there at Larry Honeycutt Field between those two. 4-2, Union Academy, Mount Pleasant 5-1. And Mount Pleasant runner-up last year in that conference to, I think it was North Stanley? Or was
North Stanley took the title there. And of course, the Tigers have been off to a fast start. Their only loss against Northwest Cabarrus, and Northwest Cabarrus has been really strong. Their loss on the season has come at West Cabarrus, and of course, Lake Norman folks know how tough West Cabarrus can be.
Yeah, as you said, tough, and a lot of good football going on here this week in Week 8. You want to run through it real quick, Mark?
Yeah, let's go through those other games. And, of course, there's a lot. We'll be trying to keep you up to date on the Cannon Pharmacy scoreboard. But as we look headed into this week, we've got a game in the Yadkin Valley, North Stanley, and Lake Norman Charter.
Yeah, that's a good matchup there. You know, you look at it, you see 4-2, 5-0, Lake Norman Charter, North Stanley Conference champions last year, trying to repeat, and they got a tough challenge ahead of them. So, big game there.
A.L. Brown and West Cabarrus going to be battling. Now, West Cabarrus a 3-4 mark, A.L. Brown 4-2. I got to think that, of course, the record 4-2 is still pretty good, but there have been a couple games they thought maybe A.L. Brown had a little bit better chance to compete and didn't. But this should be an interesting matchup as West Cabarrus seems to be playing very well right now.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. You look at the score, you think it's going to lean A.L. Brown. A.L. Brown made it into the playoffs last year, almost upset Mooresville. We know a powerhouse. That's the final team that Lake Norman will see this year is Mooresville, final week of the season. And they're facing off against A.L. Brown. West Cabarrus, after the big win against a top 30 team in the state, looking real strong. So that's going to be an absolute battle between those two. Another conference matchup. between Robinson, 6-0 on the season, and West Rowan. I have to think Robinson wins that one pretty heavily.
Well, this is going to be the bigger challenge for J.M. Robinson. They've had to play some inferior games. Their starters haven't been able to play a whole lot. They're ahead, I believe, 69-0 going into halftime against East Rowan.
Yep.
They took a lot of heat this week because of that. But they played a JV game on Monday night, so they have no 8-quarter kids, and they basically just ran out. They played everybody they had available, but you're looking at probably 6-7 players that aren't able to be substituted in that game. So some of your guys that maybe on the second team have to play. And then you play West Rowan, a tougher team.
Yep.
Probably not on the same level as Robinson, but Robinson hasn't played a whole game. They haven't been challenged yet.
No, they have not. Like you said, they've not been challenged. We saw them here week 1 against Hickory Ridge. They beat them 40-6, so pretty heavy win there. And then we got a battle of the non-winning teams here so far. Somebody's going to get that first win of the season. Central Cabarrus and East Rowan.
East Rowan. I'm sorry, but East Rowan's are really bad. If Central Cabarrus does what they're capable of, they should come away with a victory. Coach Flynn up at East Rowan is doing a good job. He's got to convince people in his building, though, that if they come out to play football, they will help instead of somebody saying, I'm just going to concentrate on basketball. I'm just going to concentrate on baseball. I need to be on the football field, too. And that's the fight that the coaching staff up at East Rowan's got right now. And when you got a really, really good baseball team like they have a tendency to just kind of say, okay, we're gonna make this a baseball only player.
Yeah, I agree with you. And then as well, we have Concord, the Spiders, and South Rowan, 4-2, 2-4 between those two. A good matchup between those two. And I have to think that those two are going to put on a show. The Spiders having a solid year so far this year.
We got the national anthem coming up. We're going to stick a microphone out and listen in.
Beautiful rendition of the national anthem here from the band of Hickory Ridge, the Ragin Bulls. So a nice job by them there. We'll touch on a couple more games real quick here, Mark, and then we'll get ready for kickoff.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we should have the teams will be coming out on the field here very shortly. But I think we're talking about Concord, South Rowan. That's a good matchup there. South Rowan, we saw last week against the Central Cabarrus Vikings, and they've got some weapons. They play a good, solid football game, but I think Concord may be a little more talented than they are.
Yeah, Concord, pretty talented school. We've seen that they played. We got to see them one time this year, haven't we?
I haven't. Not. You may have.
I think I've seen them once.
No, we may have saw them at Central Cabarrus.
Yeah, I think we saw them at Central. They look pretty talented. Well, I don't know if they played Central yet.
No, they haven't. Where did we see them? Maybe we had. No, at Mount Pleasant.
Maybe we saw them at Mount. Maybe we saw them there. I thought we've seen them. We may not have. I'm
trying to figure out where we were at. We never know where we are.
We don't. It happens so fast.
We're in Harrisburg today. Got teams coming out on the captains coming out on the field.
While Mark looks over the captains for you, I'll just go through a quick.
Yeah, go ahead there.
Quick games. I won't say much about them. You got South Point, Kings Mountain, powerhouse matchup there. Maiden and Bandy's matching off. And then up in the triad, big matchup, Western Alamance and Williams in a matchup. And So we look down there at the captains.
Jace McCollum is one of the captains. Also, Ezekiel Kelly. This is for Hickory Ridge. Number 2, Joel Wooten. And number 75 out there for the Raging Bulls. That's Noah Daughtry. We'll try to catch the captains for Lake Norman there across the way. Number 51 is one of the captains. That is Chase Davis, one of the seniors on this football team.
As the coin is flipped up in the air, and we await the coin toss winner here. While they do that, we'll give you a quick jersey check from each team. The Raging Bulls wearing dark blue on top, dark blue on bottom, white helmets, white numbers, and white socks. Lake Norman, white tops, blue bottoms, blue numbers with blue helmets.
Other captains, T.J. Henderson, also out there. And number 60 is one of the captains. That is Grant Clement. And the final captain looks to be number 2, and that is Jeremy Mitchell for Lake Norman. So coin toss, we're ready to go. Both teams getting ready to run out. Cheerleaders are to our left, waiting the Wildcats, and then to our right, they've got the big inflatable Raging Bull and the band, the cheerleaders, and a big banner.
Yes, they're trying to. Looks like it says support. I can't really read it. It's pink on white.
Either.
It's tough. I can see the word support, and then it says fight the survive the something. It might be
it's probably breast cancer awareness. And the Wildcats are on their sideline after bursting through their banner. And here come the Raging Bulls.
And that right there will get you fired up every time.
Oh, yeah.
Come out in front of your home crowd. That will get you fired up. And they are fired up here in Harrisburg, North Carolina. When you have a second, we want to remind you that tonight's broadcast is brought to you in part by BenMinot.com, the proud sponsor of the halftime show. Cannon Pharmacy, your hometown drugstore, the proud sponsor of our scoreboard. Wilkinson Funeral Home, proud sponsor of high school athletics and 485 sports. The Carolina Pizza Hut, proud sponsor of the Pizza Hut Red Zone. Cabarrus County's newspaper, the Independent Tribune, your daytime job there, Mark.
Absolutely.
The Cabarrus County Fair, the Carolina Renaissance Festival, and the Southern Christmas Show. Thanks to all the sponsors who make it possible here for us at 485 and give us the opportunity to come out here every Friday night and bring the action to you guys. As Lake Norman has decided to receive the opening kickoff here after winning the coin toss. And Hickory Ridge will kick off from right to left.
I think one of the keys tonight, particularly for the Raging Bulls, is to get a good start. If you can get a good start, you can build off of that, build some confidence. Got a little bit of confidence last week, just did not quite finish the job. You want to get out to a good, fast start, hang on to the football, keep Lake Norman's offense on the sideline, and that would be the keys for the Raging Bulls. Now, if you're Lake Norman, you want to just get the ball first, punch it down the field, and get off to a good start as well.
Little squib kick that's fielded there at the 25 by Mitchell. Mitchell takes it left, and he's hit pretty quick, right about the 27, 28-yard line, and that's where the offense for the Wildcats comes out for the first time today. They are led out there by their freshman quarterback of Caden Kraft. You don't hear that very often there, Mark.
You don't see freshman quarterback very often. Of course, by games, this will be Game 7 for the Wildcats, and got some experience under his belt now.
And they come out 5 receivers deep here and shift Weddington in motion. Now they shift him back into the slot right. High snap, able to get to it as a quarterback. Goes across the middle. It's going to be caught by Morris. Morris running up the field, still running right down the middle of the field, and fights all the way up to the 45 before being brought down.
Deep routes by most of the receivers. The receiver just cut underneath. Even the linebackers had dropped all the way out, and that's just an easy throw and catch for Kraft. He just drops it off, and you get a first down all the way out to 46.
Morris, the junior running back for the team, they lined him up left side there and put him in the flat, not the flat, right in the middle of the field. This time they hand it off to Morris, who goes left, tries to get something to the numbers, and he's drugged down from behind right at midfield on the 50.
Yeah, Jace McCollum did good pursuit that time for McCollum, but he was chasing from the backside, and so when he chased it down, he had to catch. He was playing catch-up.
Still a pickup of only 5, though, after McCollum was able to catch up to him from behind on Morris. So 2 plays so far, both of them touched by Morris. They line up in the gun here, facing a 2nd down and 5 ball at midfield. They fake the handoff to Morris. They throw it instead. It's caught far side of the field there by Kyle Mosley.
Just another throw underneath. The linebackers and the safeties are all dropping back in coverage, and he runs at the defender and then just cuts in, and he's wide open.
And Kyle Mosley had the winning touchdown catch a couple of weeks ago for Lake Norman when they won that game. Mosley, a senior here at Lake Norman. One of the leading receivers for the team, actually. He's averaging about 50 yards a game. They hand it off to Morris. Morris goes left side down the left hash on this 1st down and 10. He's still on his feet, shifting, jumping back inside across the numbers. Nothing but green grass, still on his feet. Chugging towards the goal line, and he's in there for the touchdown. Morris runs that one in there from 38 yards out.
Yeah, not a lot of resistance on that play for Hickory Ridge. And just like that, 10:24 left in the first quarter, and it's Lake Norman on the board.
Here's the junior. Takes that one down the left side and gets the first strike. Just a minute and 36 seconds in here.
73-yard drive.
As we await the extra point here. Looks like the kicker's wearing number 26. Which I don't have a 26, so I can't say that's 26. 66.
66.
Tarbell is the kicker here.
Kicks it right through.
It's up and good. The score now 7-0. Lake Norman strikes early here.
Yeah, it's exactly what Hickory Ridge didn't want to have happen. It's exactly what Lake Norman wants to have happen. You want to get out to a fast start, and the fast start is on the side of the Wildcats.
Like you said, big strike, and they did right there. And we talk about some of the leaders for the team. Cooper Ragelman and Kyle Mosley both averaging 49.5 yards a game, so basically 50 yards of reception per game. And then your receiving leader, or not receiving, your rushing leader is Moses Morris, who's averaging 81.5 yards and also leads the team with touchdowns this year with 6.
He's at least halfway to his rushing total already in that first drive.
Exactly, 100%. And then passing, Caden Kraft has 5 passing touchdowns on the season as a freshman. So that is the quick stats for Lake Norman. Before we kick off, we can get the stats in here real quick here for Hickory Ridge. The receiving leader and touchdown leader is Joel Wooden. He's receiving 61.6, and he's got 5 touchdowns for the team. Your leading rusher is David Johnson, 63.6 yards. And Brandon Barrio, the quarterback, has 5 of them on the season as your quarterback for the Ragin Bulls.
Tarbell out to kick it off.
See if we can see who's back deep to receive once it's kicked. A high kick that's fielded way deep back at the 2 on the far side, but it looks like number 6 going to be Ezekiel Kelly. He's coming this way, and he's hit and knocked out of bounds right at the 28. So both teams start at the same place there, Mark, the 28-yard line.
Yeah, within a yard or so, they're both out across the 25. And the late Soupy Campbell used to tell us, Coach would say, you win depend upon the 25-yard line. The kickoff team wins if they hold you inside the 20. If you get outside the 20, the return team has won that play.
And this one here is a win for Hickory Ridge as they're at their own 28, working from right to left, led out there by their junior quarterback, Brandon Barrio. They line up all tight to the line of scrimmage. They hand this one off. They come near side with it to Roberts, and he gets hit on the sideline and into his own bench at the 35.
Yeah, does a good job just coming off of the little wing back, slot back, and bringing him in motion, and it turns into just basically a little sweep.
They line up again the same way. 2 receivers tight right, 2 receivers tight left. Barrio moves his man in motion again of Roberts, and flag flies in from the far judge on the far side of the field.
I believe you got a procedure. It looked like the wideout moved forward. They were bringing a man in motion and resetting a receiver. The receiver kind of stood up and started forward. So I don't think even if he hadn't moved, he would have had to become set again. So
after the pickup of 6 and the penalty, it backs them up to make it a 2nd and 9 with the ball at their own 30.
Those really hurt your drives.
There's a snap. They give it off to the ball carrier who goes right up the middle of Johnson, and he fights forward back to the 35.
Now, see, if you have Johnson carrying out on that same play, same gain, you got a first down. Now you're looking at third down. But actually, you're looking at third down because of the penalty yardage instead of gaining the first down.
Yeah, you should be looking at about a 3rd down and 2 here. 3rd down and 3. 3rd down and 4 is what they're calling it.
Got to get out to the 39, looks like.
Move a man in motion again. They fake the handoff. Barrios rolls to the right. Got pressure and throws that one in the dirt. Incomplete.
He had a man in the flat. If he could have got squared up enough to throw it, looks like Torres could have run for the first down. He went to the inside receiver to try and throw and just grounded it.
As pressure was able to get there, it looked like it was number 7 with the pressure. That's going to be Tegan Schuchner, the defensive lineman senior, with the pressure up the middle.
Looks like Morris back deep to receive. Moses Morris.
And Moses Morris has already had a first quarter here, as that's just a punt that goes pretty high in the air, not a whole lot of distance, takes a straight up in the air bounce, but then takes a bounce for Hickory Ridge on the right hash and a roll dead at the 40-yard line of Lake Norman.
Yeah, so picked up there. Not a great kick from about the 30, the 35 to the 40, so you got
only about 25
yards. And you're giving Lake Norman great field position after they shredded your defense on the first series.
We look at the state rankings just real quick. Lake Norman ranked 30th in the state, 19th in class. Hickory Ridge, 215 in state, 86th in the class. They come out here with a 4-receiver set, working left to right, to each array. They decide to throw here, middle of the field. Going to be caught just past the 45 at the 47. That one wheeled in by Jacobson.
It's just a little in route, and Woodburn, the freshman defensive back, comes up, makes the tackle. But and he's trying to keep everything in front, and keeping everything in front, that gives you a 6-7 yard pickup, 7-yard pickup.
Brings up a 2nd and 3 there. They'll line up trips left, 1 right, put Morris in the backfield behind the quarterback of Kraft. Kraft calls for it and gets it. He steps back, pressure starts to get to him, and he's swallowed up in the backfield as the Bulls are there to get him for the first time today.
They brought the blitz. They got good pressure in the middle coming off the corner. The blitzer from the outside, I think the quarterback saw that. He was trying to figure out how to avoid him and got hit from the guy coming straight through the middle.
Ezekiel Kelly and Jace McCollum, the ones that were in there. There was a multiple host of Bulls that were there, but that's 2 of them that were exactly in that pile, the first 2 to greet them.
That'll help those young defensive backs. You get pressure on the quarterback, and he can't just sit back there and pick apart your defense. But now they're dropping in coverage. Looks like just 3 down linemen, but they bring a linebacker.
After a 3rd and 13, they throw it deep. That one's caught far side of the field, and he's going to be brought down inside the 30, and a huge play down the field there as Neverett makes the catch.
Now, I believe that's Norvell, then. Is that 15
Norvell?
or 14?
It's Norvell. Yep, you're right.
Okay.
A nice play there.
All the way down to the 25-yard line.
Norvell.
Drive started at the 40. Now that's a big pickup.
A huge pickup there. Able to get the first down on a 3rd and 13, and flags fly in there on that one.
Yeah, somebody didn't have the same snap count, I guess.
Yeah, they jumped a little bit early there. That'll put you behind the sticks as they tried to hustle that one. It looked like, Mark, as they ran up there quick.
I think everybody but the center had the snap count. That'll push you back 5 yards.
False start on everybody but the center.
7-0. Lake Norman has the lead here. 7:45 and counting first quarter, but they're driving.
So 1st and 15 with the ball at the 30. They give it off this time to Norbert again, who goes left side, and he gets nothing.
Good job. Got some resistance up front, and then and the linebacker or either the linebacker or safety able to kind of scrape in behind those guys that stood up the blockers and got him to the ground.
It's good right now for the Bulls as they were able to make a stop there on first down. They put trips right, 1 left. The quarterback set to throw here. He's got a man, throws it over his shoulder just out of the reach of the intended target on the far side of the field there. Trying to get that one to Kyle Mosley, the senior wide receiver, just out of his reach.
Reason that wasn't a touchdown Christian Torrance, the junior, came up and got a piece of the quarterback, forced him to throw the ball early. If he's able to just get set and float that ball out there, that's 6 because he's behind the defender. Big play on the defensive line.
3rd and 16 with the ball at the Hickory Ridge 31. 7:05 here. As they come out, 5 receiver set, trips right, 1 left, working left to right. Kraft gets the snap, pressure up the middle, he rolls right. Now he decides to take off and go up the middle, working down the left hash, still on his feet, now working outside towards the numbers and hit out of bounds at the 25 and short of the first down marker.
Not sure on the strength of the kicker. If he can get one from here, you're looking at about a 42-yarder, maybe 43-yarder. You see him going for that, but you got 5 yards on that one, so you make it, instead of a full 16, you've got 11 to go. Looks like they're going for it.
So a 4th down and 11 early in this game as the clock winds down to 6.5 first quarter. The Lake Norman Wildcats going for it inside Hickory Ridge territory, and this could be a big stop for the Ragin Bulls, and this would get some confidence for that defense after giving up that big drive to start the game.
Pivotal play here.
Kraft sets his feet, throws, makes a catch as Mosley, and he's shoved out of bounds.
He's
and
short. He's well short.
About 3 yards short, it looks like, and that's a turnover on downs. As the ball is marked at the 18-yard line, they needed the 15. They're 3 yards short. That'll be a turnover on downs, and that is a huge win for Jupiter Wilson and this defense.
Yeah, Dr. Raging Bull, that's what he ordered.
That is exactly what he ordered.
You needed a stop. You get a stop. See if your offense can get a couple of first downs. Now let your defense rest, kind of get they figured out if they can get some pass pressure or pass rush, then that helps their defensive cause.
They gave up a 73-yard drive to open the game up, able to stall them out this time.
Penalty help. That procedure penalty pushed them back behind the chains.
So a 1st down and 10 with the ball at their own 18 with 6:13 here. Barrios set to throw and rolls right now. Still looking. Now he decides to chuck one in the middle of the field. Dangerous inside of a whole bunch of white jerseys there, but it falls to the ground incomplete.
That looked like a Hail Mary at the 40-yard line. You got 5 white jerseys, 3 blue jerseys, and it mercifully hit the ground if you're a Hickory Ridge fan. If you're a Lake Norman fan, I think one man deflected away from your own defender that he might have ran down the sideline.
I agree with you. I think it was a white jersey that knocked it away from his other teammate there. The one he was trying to get it to would make sense is Joel Wooden, the leading receiver here for Hickory Ridge, but a dangerous throw there for the junior quarterback of Barrios as they set up for a 2nd and 10, decide to run this one this time up the middle there with Johnson, and he gets it up to the 21, so a pickup of 3 there.
So couldn't quite get out of the ground. It looked like they were getting a little bit of a push, but just when he got into that hole, it closed up really fast.
And he was able to make something out of nothing there as he's getting his back plate put back on there as it popped off there. So they put that back on the running back there of Johnson. Now a 3rd down and 7 with the ball at their own 21, trying to keep this drive alive.
Don't want to punt from here if you're Hickory Ridge.
Clock under 5.5 here, first quarter, as Barrios looks towards the sideline as head coach Jupiter Wilson. UNC alumni, matter of fact.
Big offensive lineman for the Tar Heels.
As there's a snap. Barrios still on his feet, looks middle of the field, makes the catch, far side, going to be caught by Wooden, and he's fighting inside the 30, and a nice catch and turn for Wooden, and that'll move the chains.
Good, strong throw. Barrios just fired that ball right as he came out of his break, hit him right between the numbers.
And Wooden, like we said, leading receiver here, averaging 61.6 yards a game for the Ragin Bulls. Come out here in a 4-receiver set, split a 2-by-2. Johnson in the backfield. Barrios steps back, throws to his right, caught again by Wooden right at the 30, and he tries to run forward down the right sideline and be drugged down after maybe a pickup of 1.
Wide receiver screen, and there was nothing doing. They had a man catching him from behind. Barrios had to kind of flick it out there. He really didn't have time to get anything set up, and good defensive play for the Wildcats. Wildcats sideline filled up pretty good, the stands over there.
They did. They traveled well.
Got the band with them as well.
Good crowd here on the home side as well. Breast Cancer Awareness Night. A bunch of pink in the student section. Moved a man in motion. They give it off to Johnson. Johnson goes into a pile right, and he's going to get back to the line of scrimmage and be brought down at the 29. Or no, that's not the 29. I looked over at the board. It says 29. It ain't the 29. That's the 33.
Yeah,
34.
They got the scoreboard wrong.
Yeah, I looked over there just to see where they moved it and everything. It says 29. I'm like, hold on, that ain't the 29. That's the 34.
Yeah, maybe that's not working. We do have a working play clock, something you and I haven't seen much this year.
We have not. That is nice to have.
I was here for the Chambers Hickory Ridge game, and it worked. I think that's the only game that I've seen a play clock this season.
I don't remember if it worked against that Robinson game. That was the first game of the year. I do not remember that.
Yeah, I was up the street a little bit.
Barrios rolls back on this 3rd down and 9. Pressure gets to him. He takes a shot as he gets rid of it. Got buried into the ground. Slow to get up, but gets up under his own power after getting buried. Trying to get that one to Wooten, and it falls incomplete.
He looked like he was ready to pull the trigger on a throw, and then he hesitated, and then he ran out of time, and then he had to run for his life. He kind of sidearmed it toward the sideline, kind of a prayer. Even if he completes that ball, it's probably a 1-yard gain.
Yeah. And speaking of getting buried, while we got a quick second here, we want to. I'm sure you want to send this out as well. We want to send our thoughts and prayers out to Grayson McCall, North Carolina native, played at Porter Ridge High School. Took a nasty shot last weekend in that NC State game. Helmet came flying off. Got hit in the head with another helmet. I saw he was released from the hospital that night. All things came back negative, but at the time, a very scary scene there.
I saw ESPN sent out a notice saying what a scary moment that was.
It was absolutely terrifying. That helmet came off. Another helmet hit him in the head, and he went down. As the punt is off the foot here, going from right to left, takes a bounce at the 35.
Great
It takes
punt this time.
Great bounce all the way down to the 20-yard line, and that's where Lake Norman will start at their own 20.
Yeah, good kick that time. We saw the first time was a 25-yard punt. This time looks like was that Jaden Whitcomb with the punt, and this one is kind of a knuckler, and then it rolls, about 12, 13 yards down the field?
Yeah, he punted that one about 45 yards. So a great punt there for Hickory Ridge. Clock 3:06, 7-0 to score as Lake Norman able to score on their first drive to start the game. Now they start back at their own 20. They put 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right, running back up the middle, and he runs into a wall at the 25 after a pickup of 5. It's going to be Morris.
Yeah, Morris will take 5 all day. Just keep, you hit that 5. The next thing you know, you're down for 20, 25.
Or in his case, maybe even 38.
Yeah, the 38-yard score is the only score so far in the first quarter, 7-0 Lake Norman with 2:40 left in the quarter and the clock ticking away.
The defense for the Ragin Bulls played solid so far besides that first drive. Stepping up here, trying to make a big stop again. They put 2 receivers each way. They go back to the ball carrier, this time of Morris. He works left, and he gets enough for the first down and gets the ball moved all the way up to the 34.
Number 9 got a 9-yard pickup, looks like, close to it.
Morris, a workhorse here for the Wildcats.
The Blue Regiment Band playing Sweet Caroline.
Yes, they are. You hear that everywhere. Even when you're over in the other countries in the NFL games, you hear them playing this. This is a...
You're supposed to go, the student section not buying into it right at the moment.
First down and 10 with the ball at their own 34, working left to right. The quarterback of Kraft dancing around in the backfield now works near side, and he gets hit from behind and brought down right at the 34, the line of scrimmage.
He is fortunate to hang on to that football. It looked like the old peanut punch was coming to that ball from behind, but he tucked it just in time.
Yes, it did. I was actually, funny you bring up Peanut. I was listening or watching. I wasn't watching. I was listening to Good Morning Football, and I had it playing in my computer at work, just listening to it, and they brought Peanut Tillman in there, and they showed a couple of peanut punches, and they asked him to grade them, and they just did that on Thursday, so it's funny you bring that up.
Yeah, he's been pretty famous for that.
Second down and 10 after the sack. Ball marked on the right hash, working left to right. Throws down the middle of the field. That one incomplete as he was trying to go to Kyle Mosley again.
That is a near miss. Mosley was about a step behind that one running a post, and he had the defender beat. The ball just not enough air on it for him to get to it.
Yeah, if he would have had just a little more air, you'd be thinking Mosley would be standing in pay dirt right there. And we talked about Mosley got that winning touchdown. He did that against Marvin Ridge. That would be 3 games ago for the Wildcats. As they line up for a 3rd down and 10, working left to right, ball on the right hash. The quarterback rolls left.
It's going to be a holding coming up.
Tosses one, takes a shot, and it's going to be intercepted. Intercepted by the Bulls at the 45, streaking down the far sideline. Chasing, still running all the way down to the 15, and he gets hit and shoved out of bounds, but a great pick there by, it looks like number 21, going to be Nikolai Lewis, the senior. And you said there was going to be a hold there, but guess what? They're going to decline that one and take the ball at the 15, you would think.
Yeah, I think that's Kenneth Kimball, the senior defensive back, number 21, unless I've got a different you and I may have different numbers.
Yeah, mine says Nikolai Lewis, the senior.
Okay.
21. We might have different sheets.
Yeah, we may have different rosters here. So,
whoops.
Well, number 21 got the interception. We'll figure out who he is here.
Yeah, we'll figure out who 21 is at some point.
Big play, though. Hickory Ridge got a player running off late. He does get off.
So 1st and 10 for the first time. The team makes a stop inside the Pizza Hut red zone. Toss this one to Wooden. Wooden works left and runs right into a pile of Wildcats at the 11. Remember, it's not too late to go to Pizza Hut. If you haven't had dinner yet or you just need a little snack, go to Pizza Hut, get on your app, get a pizza, breadstick, cinnamon stick, something to drink.
Don't forget to sign up for that rewards program for Pizza Hut. You know, get some free pizza.
Oh, I love free pizza.
You get points for every purchase you make and then cash it in.
Ain't nothing better than a free pizza, right?
That's right.
2nd down and 7, ball marked at the 12 here. Working off the left hash, working left to right. They run a little trick play with the receiver who comes out of the slot. They give it off to Torres, and he gets it all the way up to the 5.
Have to run to the other end of the field now. It's the end of the first quarter.
The end of the first quarter, the score 7-0 here as Lake Norman able to strike on their first drive, stopped on their second drive, throws an interception on their third drive, and now the Ragin Bulls trying to punch one in to even this one up here.
Well, that's a huge interception and setting up the Ragin Bulls and a chance to get into the end zone, possibly get a tie. Hang on a second. I think I've got a roster that Coach sent this afternoon. I don't think Coach Wilson realizes that we don't have a printer in the press box. He sent me an updated roster at 6:00 today.
Oh yeah, I didn't see that one.
So let's see. Yeah, we'll pull it up here. Hickory Ridge.
See if we can find out who that is.
Number 21. Well, that's even a different player than what.
Yeah, that's.
No, wait. I'm looking at the wrong. 21 is Dante Parks.
Yeah, that's not even. Neither one of us got that.
Yeah. So we're going to say Deontay Parks.
So Parks is 21. And real quick, we want to apologize to everybody out there listening. Sometimes it's a little tough to get updated rosters in enough time before these games. So we apologize if we've called the wrong name for the wrong player. We definitely don't want to do that.
Yeah, whenever we get a roster, we hang on to it until we get a fresh one or an updated one because you never know when you're going to get one.
Exactly.
Or what form it's going to come in, whether or not. Sun Valley sent us all their uniform sizes and an unsorted roster. They did have numbers, but they had different numbers for – here comes the sweep.
Trick play. They run the sweep. They go up this time, and it's going to be a touchdown as they give that one off to it. Looks like it's going to be number 1 of David Johnson.
Well, that's a big play on the first play of the second quarter for Hickory Ridge.
That's a huge play as Hickory Ridge is able to punch that one in, as you said, Mark. 5 seconds in to the second quarter. They even this one up at 7-7. And, you know, I brought it up at the top of the broadcast, Mark, and I didn't mean anything mean by it. You're 0-3 in conference. You pretty much know your chances of making the playoffs are very slim. You need a lot of help to get there. So now what you do is you come out here and you try to pull as many upsets as you can. And that kick is good to even it up. And right now, the Hickory Ridge Ragin Bulls trying to stun the Lake Norman Wildcats as the score is even. Here, 5 seconds 5 seconds into the second quarter.
7-7 our score. That's a big extra point there, too, by the kicker for Hickory Ridge.
Yes, it is. I'm going to try to see if I can find us some updates on our Cannon Pharmacy scoreboard there, Mark. I got one here. Mooresville and South Iredell. Mooresville leads that one 7-3. Franklin leading North Henderson 31-0 in that one. West Iredell and Statesville, the end of one. That one tied at 0-0. Cannon and Metrolina. Cannon leads that one 13-6. North Surrey and just Surrey 6-0. Northwest Cabarrus and Carson. Northwest leads that one 7-0. Robinson and West Rowan. Robinson leads 13-0 in that one. Hickory North Iredell 6-0. Lake Norman Charter and North Stanley. Lake Norman Charter leads 3-0 on that one. So that is some update. Oh, one more. West Cabarrus 7, A.L. Brown nothing. So a couple of updates on our Cannon Pharmacy scoreboard there as we are set to kick this one off. The Bulls kicking off from left to right here. And they squib kick it again. It takes a bounce. It'll be fielded near the 25. He'll work right up the middle, finds a seam. He's going to get grabbed, but stay on his feet is Mitchell, and he'll fight all the way up to midfield at the 49 on the left hash.
Great field position to start for Lake Norman.
Mark it actually at the 48. But yeah, like you said, great field position yet again for Lake Norman as they get this one on a short field working at their own 48-yard line.
2 plays into the second quarter, and we're all tied up 7-7. Well, the band just continues to play. Most of the time they stop them while the play's going on, but Hickory Ridge band just keeps going.
And whistles on the field there. And
I think they may be going over to tell the bands. Well, no, they're coming up and talking to the quarterback.
Yeah, they're talking to the freshman quarterback, Caden Kraft, as he led that offense back out there. And we talked about that, Mark. It is very rare that you see a freshman quarterback out there for most of these teams. The last
particularly a 4A team like this.
Yeah, and the last one I remember that started all 4 years was Alex Walker, and he started at Northwest, and he just graduated last year, and a new quarterback in the helms this year for Northwest Cabarrus.
Yeah, and that is on the 3A level too. So,
yes.
but it's rare at the top levels of high school football.
They put trips left. They hand it off to Morris with a crafty little spin move up the middle and down the left hash to get across midfield to the Hickory Ridge 48. So he went from his 48 to their 48, a pickup of 4.
Spins like that, he could be on Dancing with the Stars or Dancing for the Arts or something.
That was a pretty little nifty spin there. Wearing the pink sleeves as well for Breast Cancer Awareness Month is Morris.
Not quite Australian breaking.
Not quite Australian breakdancing. As Kraft set to throw, looks far side of the field, got a guy, makes the catch over the shoulder. It's going to be Mosley, and Mosley's in there for the touchdown.
48 yards, and the receiver just out-battled the defender. The defender had pretty good position. The ball was thrown toward the sideline, and the receiver made a good adjustment.
Yeah, it's a great throw, like you said, from Kraft. Kraft laid that over. He was running from right to left. He laid that over his right shoulder, which would have been near the right sideline where that catch was made. And Mosley just wanted it more, got it, caught it at his own 15, and then took off running. And he was in there for the touchdown and a 48-yard touchdown throw from Kraft to Mosley. With 11:09 here, we await the extra point.
Well, Kraft has good touch. There was some touch on that ball.
That was a lot of good throwing.
And some strength. That was downfield with touch.
There is the snap. The plays the kick. It's up, and it is good. The score, 14-7 here in Harrisburg, North Carolina. And like you said, that was beautiful touch. And I can't remember this kid's name, and I don't think you were there with me. I'm pretty sure it was John. We were at a playoff game last year, and it was Salisbury and Shelby. And the quarterback for Shelby was only a sophomore last year, and the touch that young man had was absolutely phenomenal. I can't remember who it is.
I'm not sure either.
It was phenomenal touch for a sophomore quarterback, and that's exactly what that freshman right there of Caden Kraft just looked like. If he keeps throwing footballs like that, he's going to have some schools after him. He's a taller young man as well. As Lake Norman is set to kick this one away with 11:09 left here, first half. They'll be kicking off from right to left. Back deep to receive. Looks like it's going to be Ezekiel Kelly to the right and David Johnson to the left as they stand back at their own 10s.
After this kickoff, we'll give you some more scores on the Cannon Pharmacy scoreboard.
I always love updates.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
As we await it, they try to onside kick it here. Little directional, and it's going to bounce, and I can't tell who's got it on the far side of the field as it looks like it's going to be the Bulls.
Hickory Ridge got it. I think it took a bounce, and one of the back guys got it.
And, yeah, I don't think they were quite expecting that, Hickory Ridge, but they came away with it. It'll come away with great field position, too.
They nearly picked that one up, but it's a great field position, as you mentioned. On our Cannon Pharmacy scoreboard, Perry Gabriel updating us on this one. First quarter, South Rowan 6, Concord nothing. What a difference a week makes for the homestanding East Rowan Mustangs. East Rowan and Central Cabarrus 14-14 in the second quarter. Still in the second quarter over at West Cabarrus. It's West Cabarrus 7, A.L. Brown nothing. Again, that's in the second quarter.
Where's Perry at tonight?
Perry's resting up a little bit tonight. He's had a big week.
That's good.
When you coach and you teach and you go to 5Ks and runs and
you got a long
you have
week.
to take a break sometimes.
As they throw this one out to Johnson in the flat, working to the right, and Johnson will run out of bounds at the line of scrimmage for a pickup and nothing.
That's a backwards pass, so it's a run.
It's a run.
But he just turned and flared it out there. Didn't fool anybody. Got maybe a half yard.
Yeah, maybe a half a yard. Ball spotted at the 43. They'll line up trips right, short side of the field, one left on the left hash, far side of the field, working left to right on the second down and 10 here. There's a snap. They give it off to Johnson, runs up the middle, runs into his own guy, and then there's a pack of Wildcats there to bring him down at the 43 again. Whoa, there they are, boys. There's the pack.
Yeah, that defense up there, they just stonewalled the offensive line there, and then once he ran into the back of his own blockers.
Yep.
And then somebody came around the corner and just took him to the ground.
Are you the voice who does it as Charlotte for the Panthers? That sounded just like it.
I can do a little bit better than that.
It sounded just like I was at Bank of America Stadium there.
Stephen B. Smith, who the field used to be named for at Davidson, did color with me one game.
And they're set to throw this one. Barrios throws that one towards Wooten, and defenders get tangled in the feet region down low. No flag and a good no call there.
Good
I like that call.
They were both running. The offensive player literally ran up the back of the defender who was running down for the ball, and both players had a right to go for it. Now we're doing a game at Kentucky Wesleyan, and Steve Smith flew in for the game, and he wanted to do color for a game, and so I didn't have a color commentator that day, so he comes in for the Davidson game. And he said, man, Mark, it would be great if we had every time we get a first down or something, we had a wildcat scream or something. So I did a couple times. It probably sounded horrendous on the radio, but Steve Smith just loved it. And, of course, he's a big donor at Davidson. If Steve wanted that, I don't think anybody had a problem with it.
No, I don't think so. That is funny as they are set to punt this one away, and it's going to be a good punt here. It's going to be fielded at the 22 by Morris. Morris working towards the right side of the field, ducks a block, now works back towards the left, and be brought down at the 40, and good field position again for Lake Norman at their own 40.
Well, if I'm Lake Norman, I'm getting in number 9's hands as many times as I can. He is shifty.
Morris, an athlete out there on the field, still has a year of high school left, only a junior running back for Lake Norman.
10 minutes left in the first half, 14-7. Lake Norman with the lead.
And the offense led by their freshman quarterback of Caden Kraft trots back out there.
Hey, look how deep the safeties are playing. One of the safeties is 15 yards. Actually, both safeties now are 15 yards off the line of scrimmage.
They'll put trips left tight on the short side of the field, go to Morris, who works right, and he fights up to the 44, so I'll pick up a 4 from Morris.
Those safeties that deep, you can throw underneath them, and 2, you can run it like that. It's not a big pickup, but that 3 or 4 yard pickup is there all day long when everybody's playing that far off the line of scrimmage.
Norvell, the new running back, in there for the Wildcats, lines up behind his quarterback. They're set to throw here. They go out into the flat. It's going to be caught by Willington, and he gets it across the 50, and he'll be brought down at the Hickory Ridge 45.
Just a screen pass. The wide receivers, each two men block the man that's covering them, and the man who catches the ball behind the line of scrimmage, he's got his man to beat. When he beats his man, then the other guy's got to fight off those blocks, and they didn't fight it off in time.
Cannon Wigginton, the senior wide receiver for the Wildcats, they hand this one off to the running back, and he goes right up the middle and finds a huge hole and gets it all the way inside the 35 down to the 33. Is
Norvell. They brought a blitz off the edge on the right side for Hickory Ridge. They ran to the left side.
Norvell getting the carries here on this series, Mark. So far, Morris not touching the ball. Norvell is the ball carrier, lines up again in the backfield. They go back to Norvell. He stops that time at the line of scrimmage, works right, finds a hole in a seam. Now cuts back in towards the middle and makes a stop at the 10. And he's going to have a quick break at the Pizza Hut red zone.
There's a TV commercial that says, "It's shake and bake, and I helped." And he just a little shake and bake at the line of scrimmage, and he helped himself to about 15 yards.
Yes, he did. He worked. He stopped, like you said. He shaked, he baked right there at the line of scrimmage, worked right, then came back to the middle of the field and took off.
And maybe why we're seeing 15 out there, too.
First and goal. Back to Norvell again, and he's brought down after a pickup of 1 at the 9.
Good job, that defensive line for Hickory Ridge that time. They stacked things up. First man to make contact, Noah Daughtry. And Daughtry had some help, but he got things stacked up.
So a second and goal here as the Bulls trail by 7. The Ragin Bulls trying to make a stop here.
I think we got some more scores coming in off the Cannon Pharmacy scoreboard. We'll wait till after this play here in the Pizza Hut red zone.
Caden Kraft lines up. There's Norvell again with the carry. Works right. Turns up just past the tackle, and he'll fight it up to the 7.
Good job. Hickory Ridge set the edge, forced that play back inside. When they did, there was a linebacker standing there waiting on him.
He jumped out just past his right tackle there, and once he did, he tried to turn it upfield, and like you said, they set the edge. The Ragin Bulls did, and they were able to make that stop. And that's going to bring up a third down and goal with 7:20 here.
Here on the Cannon Pharmacy scoreboard, we've got Northwest Cabarrus 21, Carson 7. That's in the second. Union Academy has jumped out early on Mount Pleasant, 7-0 down in Tigertown.
There is the snap. Kraft set to throw. Look, that's one going to be caught right there at the pylon in the back of the end zone. That one in the hands of Cooper Riggleman.
Riggleman didn't have to move. The ball, he put his hands just away from his jersey, and the ball hit. That's a perfect throw.
He dropped down, and that was like dropping bread right into a basket. Just boom, he dropped it right in there. And a beautiful throw from that freshman, and I think we see why the freshman is the starting quarterback here for Lake Norman.
That's some nice touch.
As we set up here for the
old
extra
swinging
point.
gate. Are they gonna swing it shut? Looks like they will. Tarbell will come back to kick it.
As they line up for the extra point with 6:59 here in the first half as Tarbell sets up. There's the snap, and they're going to fake it. Tarbell with it, set to throw. They come near side. That's going to be caught, and a 2-point conversion is successful as they go right back to Riegelman.
That's a pretty good throw from a 66.
Yes, it is.
Tarbell's number 66. They snapped it direct. The man was covered, and he just had to drop it in the bucket.
He did. He dropped it right in there. As 66, you just said, labeled as the kicker, senior, dropped that one right in the basket.
Yeah, that's kind of a backbreaker. I mean, not a backbreaker, but that really hurts you. It hurts your feelings if nothing else.
For sure. When I watched the snap, I saw how fast it came out of that center's hands. I knew something was up because that thing was sailing. Because it definitely came out higher and faster than it should have. And I saw the kicker ready to go there of Tarbell to catch it, and I was like, uh-oh. I don't know if they saw that. And they were not able to cover it up quick enough, and it turns into a 2-point conversion to make it 22-7 with 6:59 here in the first quarter. Want to let you know, coming up at halftime, our Ben Minot Shop, Click, and Drive halftime show, where we'll give you updates on our Cannon Pharmacy scoreboard, and, hey, we might even tell a few stories.
Yep, so the bands get out there. We might even listen into the band.
Might listen to the band. You might hear some stories. Hey, we'll talk about what's going on around the league of high school football, and we'll also let you guys know something that was told to us about what's going to happen at the end of the year leading into the playoffs.
All right.
We might as well tease it, right?
Sounds like a plan. This is my buddy, the late Frankie Furr. He was a photographer for the Concord Tribune and the Independent Tribune for years and years. Long time ago, he used to cover football on Friday night, and they had a big edition in the paper where they print a special insert in the paper.
Yep.
Frankie would cover one of the games, and he would measure out his story. Exactly at halfway through the story, he would insert the line that says, "And the band played well at halftime."
And that was some trickery right there. Did you see that?
Yeah, they did. They did the old. There's a name for that, and I don't even know what it is. They all run toward the ball,
and nobody kicks it. They ran towards it in a group. Nobody kicked it, and they all fanned out. And now they're set to kick this one away as Ezekiel. And they try an onside kick again, but it's fielded right at midfield and jumped on by the Bulls at their own 47.
The only man that stayed at home was the man who caught the ball. Everybody else peeled back for the return. It's number 90 for the Ragin Bulls. And
Parker Donald.
Parker Donald just made a big play and gave the Ragin Bulls good field position.
Yeah, that
Everybody
was a big
else
play.
On the front line turned and ran.
And he did not.
He did, but it was kicked straight to him. So good field position. Chris Hudson sent us a scoring update from down in Tigertown. Mount Pleasant on the board. They are now tied with Union Academy in the first quarter. Mount Pleasant 7, Union Academy 7. And again, that's on the Radio Free Cabarrus Facebook page today. We're streaming audio live there.
There's the snap. They hand this one off to the ball carrier. Goes up the middle of Johnson, and Johnson will pick up maybe one. Maybe. Looks like he gets to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, they got stacked up, and off the bottom of that pile, who got that play stacked up was T.J. Henderson, one of the captains for Lake Norman. He, big guy in the middle, and he's hard to move. Stacks everything up when you try to run in the middle until help gets there.
Yeah, like you said, the big man in the middle stacked it all up. Henderson.
Barrios has a word with his wide out. Johnson then sets up in the slot.
Still got a back in the backfield. Moves Johnson in motion. Give this one off over to Kelly, and he gets hit. Johnson does.
I don't think he got hit. I think he tripped on the sideline. Looked like he took a nasty little spill, but he spun right back up.
Ran a little reverse there.
He's coming through in jet motion, and then the quarterback, Barrios, rolls to that direction, but he's got pressure in his face. He throws the ball again sidearm around the defender to get that to Johnson. So that's the only way that play worked.
They'll line up 4 receivers, 2 each direction here. They got, it looks like, that's not Johnson in the backfield. I can't tell who that is. Johnson's lined up in the slot top. Kelly, the running back, in the backfield. So 2 each way here. They give it to Kelly. Kelly goes up the middle, finds a little bit of a hole on the right hash, still fighting forward inside the 40 and enough for the first down.
Kelly did a good job, just a little jump cut. The hole where he was going was blocked. It was just kind of plugged up. He jumps to his right and then accelerates straight down the field. Good run for the running back. And guys on the right side of the Hickory Ridge line opened up a nice little hole.
Only needed 4, got about 8. So a new set of downs here on a first down and 10 with the ball thrown 36. Fakes the handoff. Barrios throws middle of the field. Wide open receiver. Johnson, and he bobbled it, but able to make the catch.
They're going to say a catch. Well, he threw that in a tight window. They had white jerseys all around, and the only place he could throw it.
And Johnson bobbled it right there on the inside of the left hash.
If we were in college football, we would have about a 15-minute break right now for commercials and everything they'd want to throw back to the studio while they reviewed that play 15 times.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. As the clock's down to 5:30 left here, as that was a big throw and catch there from Barrios to Johnson. They give this one off to the ball carrier of Johnson, who came out of the left side slot and works right, and he'll get it inside the 10 down to the 9.
Yeah, they just run that reverse. You send arcing motion or orbiting motion back into the backfield. And what I mean by they send a man arcing back into the backfield. and it essentially puts like another back into the play. You can run an option out of that if you choose to and run the quarterback running, but this was just a straight handoff on that arcing, kind of a reverse.
And a timeout on the field. Not sure who called it. I didn't see the official signal, and the board over there still shows 3-3.
Yeah, we'll see it tick off here in a minute. Somebody will take it off when they figure it out.
A timeout on the field with 5:10. The score 22-7.
Down to that Pizza Hut red zone. Go to pizzahut.com.
I'm going to be getting me some pizza tomorrow. There is.
I had leftover pizza and breadsticks. On the breadsticks, I threw me a piece of Swiss cheese on top of it, popped it in the toaster oven. That's what I had for lunch.
I bet you that was good. I know I'm getting
good.
pizza tomorrow with all the big games that are going on in college football. You got the Xfinity race and the Roval just on the other side of the hill from where we're at tonight. You got the Cup race, the Bank of America 400 on Sunday.
I saw your calling racing guys with the, was it Ronald the dog or something out
Ronald.
there on the Roval inspecting the track today?
Yep, Ronald's out there. That's SVG's dog. He was at the shop there on Thursday as they run that one up the middle with Kelly, and Kelly gets nothing.
Doing. Yeah,
Ronald's a good dog. Ronald, awesome dog. There.
He gave his sniff of approval as he went around. Looked like.
I love it. Yeah, he's a great dog. They bring Ronald into the shop, and when he comes into the shop, very well-mannered, and just everybody enjoys having Ronald around. We're going to definitely miss having SVG around next year. He's done a great job for us this year, but, we still got some business to go finish this year with him as well. As we're set up for a 3rd down and goal here as they give this one to Johnson, and he's going to fight forward down to the 6, but not enough.
Just inside the 6. You can kick a field goal from here. You're down 2 scores at 15-point deficit. I think you probably go for it here. You're going to have a right-to-left angle on the kick if you choose to kick it.
Yeah, I think
but it's decision time right here. 4.5 minutes. You're down 2 scores. You haven't shown really the ability to.
The clock has stopped.
Haven't shown. Somebody may have.
Not sure why the clock stopped. I didn't hear a timeout on the field unless Jupiter Wilson called one.
Well, they haven't moved the down marker yet either. Is there a penalty on the play?
Yes, there was.
Okay, that's
all the white hat.
Okay.
I don't see the flag anywhere. Do you?
I didn't see a flag either, but it looks like it's going to be.
It's going to be a hold. It looks like
against Hickory Ridge. That's a big penalty down on the goal line.
Yeah, that's a
10-yard mark off.
Puts the ball back at the 20.
But you get to replay 3rd down.
Yes, I didn't see the flag out there on the field anywhere. I don't know who threw it.
There was a big cluster of humanity where the ball carrier went.
So a 3rd down and 15 here or 3rd down and 20 here.
Barrios had trouble getting time to throw the ball downfield.
They can get the 1st down, getting the ball up to their own 4. Barrios set to throw, middle of the field, got Wooten, and it's going to be intercepted as he threw that one into a tight hole and coming across.
Riggleman, I believe.
That is, what is that, 12?
No,
that's
12?
Glover.
Okay, it's 12, okay.
That is Jalen Glover, the free safety, the junior, streaking in there from the safety spot to pick that one off with 4:16 and stopping the Bulls short.
Didn't have enough on the throw. Got to zip that ball, and he had to get rid of it quick because the pressure's coming. But they are pinned back deep. The ball's going to be at the...
Looks like the 2?
Yeah, it looks like they're going to mark him at the 2.
At the 1?
Good diving interception.
He actually marked him at the 1 there, Mark.
So Jalen Glover, the free safety.
What a play.
Yeah, that probably takes points off the board.
As Barrios tried to burn one in there to his receiver, a Wooden, who was just on top of the right hash working left to right. And the free safety, who was standing in the middle of the field, comes back to his left and gets the pick, and they got Morris in the backfield behind the quarterback. They give it to Morris, and Morris finds a little bit of a hole, fights forward, pushing the pile, and he's still running. He's got the pile pushed out to the 6.
Gives you some working room. You don't like to have to hand the ball off. You don't like to have to do anything in your end zone, because if you commit a penalty in the end zone, if you're holding, you're across that goal line, that's a safety. So it's not only the chances of you getting tackled in the end zone or you fumbling or doing something like that. You've also got to worry about a penalty in the end zone is very punitive.
So after a pickup of 6, it brings up a 2nd down and 4 with the ball at the 6, and that one's on the ground, and Kraft has to jump back on top of it.
Now, I think if you're at the 2-yard line and Kraft drops that for a 2-yard loss, he's covering the ball up in the end zone for a safety. So that last play for the 5-yard pickup out to the 6 just saved him 2 points.
And it looked like Kraft wanted to hand that ball off to Morris before he ever got it into his hands there, Mark, and that's why he dropped it. It's going to be a loss and make it a 3rd down and 8 here with the ball back at the 3-yard line and the clock winding down to 3 minutes, but 15 still on the play clock, and Lake Norman
Yeah,
still in the
if I were
huddle.
them, I wouldn't be in any hurry. I might even let it run down all the way and then call timeout.
And that appears, it looks like what they're doing here. They're letting it run. It's down to 3. And there's the timeout on the far side of the field from their head coach of Jonathan Oliphant. Yeah, that's a tough one right there.
Yeah, Coach Oliphant, I sent him an email asking for rosters, and I think he sent it, must have been within 15 minutes.
He was ready.
Yeah, and it was a nice, legible,
It is.
in a
It's
good format
really good
we can
roster.
read, yeah.
It's a great roster here. Got the team name, got double stacked, got the trainers, got everybody on there. Admissions, team captains, head coach, every coordinator they got, film coordinators, all of them. So,
Coach Wilson for Hickory Ridge sent ours, but he just sent it at 6 o'clock, and the game kicks at 7, and we don't carry around a printer.
No, but the rosters they do have, I have one here, they're older ones. It's a great layout as well.
It is. Yeah, it's good.
One side of the field, they have numerical order. The other side of the sheet, they have alphabetical order. And then down below it, they have all the coaches listed as well.
He's got alternate numbers for different jerseys, too. They got 4 or 5 guys that if they wear a white jersey, they have to wear a different jersey number.
Yeah, we had that happen to us last week where we were over there with Chinwall. Can't find the number 4 jersey, so he has to wear 7 in gold, they said.
Up at Central Cabarrus. Got a halftime score coming in on the Cannon Pharmacy scoreboard. We'll tell you about that after this big 3rd down play on the goal line.
Huge 3rd down here. Lake Norman trying to keep the drive alive. And the Ragin Bulls trying to stop them and get good field position with 2:56.
Yeah, you got to figure you're going to get the ball on the Lake Norman side of the 50 if you can get a stop here.
As Kraft steps back, has Morse to his left. He goes to Morse. Morse finds a seam, goes up field, right down the middle, and he'll get the ball out to the 9, but not enough to move the chains.
It will get your punter off the back end in line. So he's got room that he can step.
But you have to wonder if you leave your offense out here. It's only a 4th and 2. You saw what Morris can do.
Now they're going to take the clock down and force Hickory Ridge to take a timeout. They'll take it all the way down
and then call
Hickory
another
Ridge. Timeout. Well, Hickory Ridge is going to save some time.
So a good call by head coach Jupiter Wilson there to call the timeout with 2:25. The score 22-7 here. Lake Norman on top on a 4th down and 2 with the ball at their own 9.
At the halftime score coming in, Northwest Cabarrus leading 28-7 over Carson at the half.
Let's see if I can get some updates.
I don't think I've got any more coming in other than what we've already given you. Of course, don't forget the second weekend of the Carolina Renaissance Festival this weekend, Saturday and Sunday going through November the 24th, and lots of special activities. And, we've got great weather for the Renaissance Festival.
Absolutely beautiful weather. We couldn't ask for much better weather this weekend for all the stuff going on here. Friday night football, college football around the areas, the races are in the areas, the Renaissance Festival, so much stuff going on. We have beautiful weather this time of year, and I have a couple of updates I can give us here on the Cannon Pharmacy scoreboard. Statesville, West Iredale. Statesville leads 6-0 in that one. Creston, North Gaston. Cresta leads 7-0. Bandy's and Maiden. Bandy's leads that one 8-0. Cannon and Metrolina. Cannon leads 14-12. Mooresville leads South Iredale 13-3. Thomasville leads South Davison 13-0. Richmond leads Union Pines 7-0. Grimsley 7-0 over Ragsdale, and the punt is off and away. A good punt. It's a line drive, bounces at the 45, and then it's hit by a Lake Norman player at the 47, and it'll roll dead at the 46.
So good field position for Hickory Ridge. Got 2:15 left. The scoreboard's still showing 3 timeouts, but I think they've used at least 1, and I think maybe 2.
Yeah, I think they've used at least 2 if you're a Hickory Ridge.
So you get the good stop after you throw the interception on the goal line. You get the ball at the 47, so you can try to get back within a score before the half. And then, of course, we've got a score coming in. No problem for J.M. Robinson, 34-0 at halftime over West Rowan.
Yeah, that's the one I was just looking for an update on. The last one.
Yeah, we thought that might be a little closer game. Of course, it was 69-0 against East Rowan last week at halftime.
I think they ended up winning it 77.
83-0.
Was it 83-0? My Lord.
Yeah.
As they hand this one off to Johnson, who goes right in between the guard and the tackle, gets the ball inside the 45 up to the 43. Brings up a 2nd 6. Clock winds down under 2 minutes left here. Ball on the right hash, working left to right. They put 2 receivers left, 2 receivers right.
I'm surprised they didn't throw the flag. The wide receiver flinched.
Yeah, the near side receiver here.
Yeah.
I am very surprised with you.
They
go back to Johnson up the middle, runs into one of his own guys, but keeps his leg moving. He gets it inside the 40 up to the 38.
He's a yard short of the first down marker. Yeah, the official on the sideline reached for his flag and then put his hand back down.
2 receivers left, 2 right. They go back to Johnson. Johnson's got enough for the first down this time as he gets it up to the 35. He worked from left to right on that run there, Mark. Lined up on the left side, just did that little draw play.
A little kind of an angle. It's 22-7 in favor of Lake Norman with 1:18 and the clock ticking, and it looks like a timeout called. So the Bulls take a timeout.
It's either their second or their final. Not sure what it is. We know there was one called earlier that we weren't sure who called it. The board still shows 3 and 3 for each team.
Chris Hudson lets us know that Mount Pleasant's taken the lead against Union Academy, 14-7. And
Larry Honeycutt Field.
Yep. Michael J. Johns Stadium. A.L. Brown 14, West Cabarrus 13. That's at the half. That's over near my house.
That one is?
Yeah, I can hear the PA and the band play from West Cabarrus at my house.
Closest 2 schools to my house. If this tells you how far I am away from here, I'll tell you after this play. First and 10, 118 ball on the Lake Norman 35. Barrios set to throw, looks deep, got Wooden, and that one's thrown out of bounds, intercepted and incomplete.
But he was out of bounds, looks like. Tell you what, these Lake Norman guys all can catch a ball.
They can catch.
That free safety that caught the interception made a heck of a play. And then their wideouts have made a couple of really good catches on offense.
That was Jeremy Mitchell, the one who was out of bounds on that interception there. Stops the clock, 1:11.
One of the captains today. Still 22-7 in favor of Lake Norman, but try to go 2 for 1. Hickory Ridge gets the ball to start the second half.
Working left to right, ball spotted on the right hash. 2nd and 10, dumps it off into the flat. Going to be caught by Kelly. Kelly turns it upfield, now back to the middle, spins and brought down inside the 25, enough to move the chains, and another first down for the Hickory Ridge Ragin Bulls.
I think Hickory Ridge got away with illegal motion that time because I think the motion man turned upfield before the ball was snapped.
And now there's the final timeout for Hickory Ridge. So they did have one left in their back pocket with 1:03 left here.
1:03, as you say, that's still plenty of time if you use it right, even with no timeouts. They're at the 23, almost in the middle of the field, so you got a full playbook right here, what you want to do on first down.
Exactly, I agree with you. So, as I was saying before that play, the closest school to my house, the 2 closest ones, are Oak Grove and North Davison. Those 2 are facing off against each other tonight.
Oh, are they? Okay.
At North Davison.
I've been to North Davison a long time.
So that is...
Our buddy John Von Cannon one year did state baseball playoffs up at North Davison on the NFHS Network.
Nice. Now, North Davison's football program, I'm not saying anything bad here. They've kind of went the wrong direction the last few years after their coach got caught doing some stuff and took some wins away and he resigned. Now the powerhouse is Oak Grove. They are rolling this year.
You reckon they got any oak trees on campus?
I'd say they probably got 1 or 2. Barrios is hit high in the backfield, and there's the flag.
Comes the flag. He got him around the neck. I don't know if he got the face mask, but he got him right underneath the chin.
Yeah, he drug Barrios down, like you said. He wrapped him up basically like in a headlock and drug Barrios, the quarterback, down around the 31-yard line.
I'm surprised his helmet stayed on. You see all these helmets pop off. That helmet stayed on there. That was vicious.
They move it to the 30, exactly where the spot was now. And they're going to
they're marking that off?
They're marking it off.
Intentional grounding? How you not calling that a
Wow.
hit to the head?
Okay, so intentional grounding the call.
Of course, nobody on Hickory Ridge side seems upset.
I'd be upset.
I'd be really upset because I thought he just about looked like he got him right in the throat.
Yeah, it looked like he's going to take his head off. So after the intentional grounding, it bracks the ball up to the 35. So a second down and 21 here. Barrios airs one out, looks towards Wooden. Wooden tries to come back to it, can't get it. It falls incomplete. Good coverage there as well.
Jeremy Mitchell again, and Mitchell almost made another interception.
Mitchell.
He had a better chance. The defender the offensive player had to turn defender.
2-on-2 is what we got going on there. You got Wooden, the best receiver, and Jeremy Mitchell, the sophomore defensive back for Lake Norman, covering him.
Barrios did not throw the ball far enough on that one to give his receiver a chance.
Yeah, he underthrew that one by about 2 to 3 yards. If you'd have let him run under it, I think they could have had a touchdown there. So
you got to get to where he can at least have a jump at it.
Third down and 21. They line up trips left, working left to right. Barrios steps back, got time, looks right, back again towards Wooden, and overthrows both of them as Mitchell was the closest one to it again.
Mitchell, great coverage. Man, he's playing some DB back there.
He is locked down right now. He was the closest one to it if anybody was going to make a play on it. So 41 seconds left here in this half.
Ezekiel Kelly was flaring out of the backfield. Barrios could have dropped it off, and he could have ran 15 yards and got out of bounds. 41 seconds, even if he did get out of bounds, he could have at least taken half the yardage back, but they chose to throw it down. They're going to reset the play clock, looks like.
Oh, they're raising the roof?
Well, that's what he's signaling. Now they reset it.
Showing off his dance moves out there on the field. It's a white hat.
Only had one arm going, though. You put raise the roof is two, isn't it?
Yes, it is. As Barrios tosses this one into the flat, it's going to be caught by Kelly. Kelly working back this direction across the left hash, still on his feet, running and streaking, pointing towards the sky, and he's in there for the touchdown. There was a missed tackle there by the Wildcats, and Kelly stayed on his feet, pointed towards the end zone 6 yards before he was there, and he's in there for the touchdown is Will Minter, the linebacker who missed the tackle. And now the flag flies out for excessive celebration, you'd have to think.
I would think so. 29 seconds left. So Kelly on the reception.
And
how long a pass was what it was at 30?
34?
Let's say 34 yards unofficially there.
And let's just say this. Kelly caught that ball outside the left hash, working left to right, and he ran from the left hash all the way back over to this sideline. He ran across the entire field and made everybody miss. Made the linebacker there of Minter miss that tackle in the middle of the field. He was at the 6-7 yard line, and he knew he was going to pay dirt. He was already pointing up. And then he walked right on in there, and it's going to be unsportsmanlike on Hickory Ridge for excessive celebration after the kick here. So
looks like they're lined up to go for two.
Obviously, you don't want the excessive celebration penalty, but if you're going to do it with 29 seconds left in the half. It doesn't hurt as bad.
Yeah, because you're going to kick off, but, there's some speedy guys. Another looks like they're kicking it. I think this is the right decision. Don't chase points this early.
I don't think there's no reason to chase points as they're set to kick this one away here with Whitcomb. That's who I got. Is that who you got, 41?
Yeah, Whitcomb.
So there's the snap, the place, the kick gets up, and it is good. The score, 14-22. 29 seconds left in the first half, and the Hickory Ridge Ragin Bulls trying to 2-for-1 it here and get back into this ball game as they trail by 8. And let me tell you something, a stop here and a touchdown to start the second half.
And it's a whole new ball game.
This game's flipped on its head.
That touchdown kept them in the game. And I want to tell you, the spin out of the tackle that time by Kelly, I think they thought they had him down and everybody was going to be scrambling to get back up. But instead of going down, he spins out of it, and there's nobody down the sideline.
No, he spun out of that tackle, like you said there, from the linebacker there, Minter, who is the senior. And
it's a cliche, but what the coaches will say and everybody will say, you got to wrap up.
Yep.
You don't wrap up, bad things happen to the defense.
And right there, showed it, as after they mark off the 15-yard penalty, the ball be spotted at the 25. Remember last week we saw one almost kicked only 10 yards back?
Well, we saw it went backwards, but it got.
Yeah, that was 2 weeks ago. We saw one went backwards.
Yeah, we saw one went backwards where the ball was kicked, and it struck one of the players and bounced backwards, and then the receiving team got the ball about 8 yards behind where the ball was kicked.
Yeah, they kicked it off from the 40, and they got it at the 32.
Yeah.
Not the other 32, the 32 that was behind them.
behind the kicker.
This time kicking off from the 25 after the penalty, so should be good field position here for Lake Norman as they boot this one away, and they boot it over
his head. Wow.
And it's going to take a bounce and bounce.
It's going to go out of bounds.
It goes
They'll
out of
have
bounds.
to re-kick. They'll have to put 2 seconds back on the clock, too, because nobody touched it.
And that was great decision there
Yeah.
by Norvett.
Norvett. So they're going to make him kick the ball off now from the 20. There should be 2 seconds back on the clock, too, because the clock doesn't start until somebody touches it.
I agree. Yeah, it's down to 27.
Should be 29 seconds left.
See if they bump it up. But, yeah, like you said, they're going to re-kick this one, and he absolutely smashed that ball. If that thing would have stayed in bounds, that would have been huge.
He hammered that one, but he hit it over his head.
Now they switched.
There should be 2 more seconds left on the clock.
I don't know if they're going to adjust it. Don't
Well,
look
the
like they
Hickory
are.
Ridge people don't want to because it's be 2 more seconds for Lake Norman.
And now
Clock
they switch.
Clock doesn't run until somebody touches it in the field of play.
So now kicking off from the 20. And they switch the guys. They put Norvett to the right, and they got Morris to the left. Kicking off from left to right. They come left side towards Morris. Morris going to field it at his own 28. He works back towards the middle of the field. Now he's directly in the center of the field. Turns upfield, gets hit by a man, gets across the 50, and brought and drugged down at his own 40, or at the Hickory Ridge 47.
Let's see if those 2 seconds make any difference. They've got the ball on the ridge side of the field. 21 seconds left. They didn't put the 2 seconds back, so instead of 23, they got 21.
And he absorbed that contact at his own 48, spun, and when he got spun, he went from his 48 to their 47 and picked up another 5 yards after absorbing that contact, Morris.
Got good receivers, and you got a strong-arm quarterback.
21 seconds here. 22-14 to score. Kraft steps back and puts 2 receivers out there, one left, one right, a wingback right, and a running back. He looks towards the right. He's going towards the receiver of Mosley, and it's intercepted again by the same person. Was it Parks? Who's 21?
I believe it was Park, yeah. Deontay Parks.
And that's his second pick of the day.
Wow, nice interception.
And let me tell you something. I don't know what Jupiter Wilson said to these guys before this game, but he has them fired up.
Got 15 seconds. You're going to get the ball to start. Don't do anything chancy. You might come out and run a handoff. Probably just come out and take a knee. Of course, the other thing you could do is just hand it off and see if you can pop one. I've always been a big proponent of see if you can pop one.
Yeah, you might as well. I would. I'd line it up and see if you could pop one. They're going to line the ball
up. But every time I say something like that, somebody puts it on the ground and they regret it.
They're going to work left or right, put the ball on the left hash. They do hand it off, as we talked about. They go to Johnson, and he gets it out to the 20. Gets it to the 18.
That'll be the half.
The clock stop was 7 seconds for some reason. Not sure why the clock stop was 7 seconds.
Injured player. He's going to hobble off.
Okay. So a player hobbling off, clock running again. That's the end of the first half. The score, 22-14. The Hickory Ridge Ragin Bulls trailing the Lake Norman Wildcats here at the end of the first half.
Well, that was something else. MidMinded.com halftime report comes up next. We'll hear from a couple of our sponsors, and we'll be back with you here at the Ridge. Lake Norman 22, Hickory Ridge 14 at the half.
Cakes and cookies, toys and gifts. It's the shopping event of the season, the Southern Christmas Show, November 14th through 24th at the Park Expo and Conference Center. Celebrate the 12 days of Christmas, a countdown of Yuletide cheer brimming with festive decor and seasonal magic. Buy tickets early and save at southernChristmasShow.com. Online tickets courtesy of Craft Body Scan.
Let's go to the Southern Christmas Show.
Once Upon a Time is right now. Escape to the Renaissance Festival, a time-traveling adventure. Huzzah! Saturdays and Sundays, now through November 24th. Tickets available online only at renfestinfo.com. Save your dates while supplies last. Too jolly good.
You'll love the Renaissance Festival.
There's music, comedy, circus entertainments, a giant crafts market, jousting nights, the Living Mermaids, and a feast all rolled into a non-stop outdoor family adventure. Presented by Pepsi. Sponsored by Hedis Tita. Tickets available online only at renfestinfo.com. Save your dates while supplies last. Renaissance Festival, here I come.
To Hickory Ridge here in Harrisburg, North Carolina, for a conference matchup between the Ragin Bulls and the Wildcats of Lake Norman. The score 22-14 is the band setting up there for the halftime performance. And, well, when you looked at it on paper, you didn't quite think it was going to be this close. But I tell you what, this has turned out to be a great first half here. Hickory Ridge putting on a really good show here. And so far, they have 14 points. That is tied for their second highest score of the season. They've got two times where they put up 14 against Porter Ridge, 14 against A.L. Brown. The most they put up South Iredell last week. They've already got 14 points in the first half.
Yeah, they recovered a little bit, thanks in part to the offense moving the football just a little bit, and thanks to those two interceptions. We believe it was Deontay Parks that got both of those interceptions. That prevented scores by Lake Norman. Early on, Lake Norman took that opening drive, and it was like Swiss cheese. They went through the Hickory Ridge defense just like nothing, and they were going down, getting ready to score again pretty quickly, and got a fourth down stop, did Hickory Ridge, and they were able to come back later and tie it.
Yeah, that big false start there, or illegal procedure, whatever the call was there, that put the Lake Norman Wildcats behind the chains really helped the Ragin Bulls get that stop there on that second drive. Then they went down the field, got the score themselves. After they got the score, they were only trailing by 7, and then 2-point conversion happened, and Hickory Ridge able to get those two interceptions and make it a 22-14 game. And it's been a barn burner here as Hickory Ridge will receive the second half. Got the final score there at the end of the first half, and then got the interception by Devontae Parks there to end it, and two big plays from him to keep his team in the game as well. We'll take a look at our Cannon Pharmacy scoreboard real quick and see if we can get a couple of updates from around the state. Metrolina and Cannon at halftime. Metrolina leads that one 25-14 over Cannon. Mooresville South Iredell. Mooresville leads 13-3 over South Iredell at halftime. Salisbury East Davidson. Salisbury 13, East Davidson nothing. One of the matchups we looked at on paper, Mark and I, when I put it out here to show him some of the big games going on around the state, was the Kings Mountain and South Point matchup, a battle at schools that only had one loss between the two of them. South Point entered 4-0, Kings Mountain entered 4-1. That game tied at 7 at halftime, so a great matchup there between those two. Page and Western Guilford up in the Triangle Piedmont area, that one tied at 7 as well. Crest and North Gaston. Crest leads 7-0 on that one. Bandy's and Maiden. Bandy's leads 8-0 in that one. Richmond Union Pines. Richmond leads 7-0 over Union Pines. Grimsley Ragsdale. Grimsley up 7-0 in that one. Let's see if we can get some updates from the Max Preps to try to give you guys some updates on some other games and conference games that have implications on the Cabarrus County area. Northwest Cabarrus and Carson, third quarter, Northwest 28, Carson 7. Robinson and West Rowan, halftime. Robinson 34, West Rowan nothing. So all Robinson in that one. A.L. Brown and West Cabarrus, halftime. A good game there, Mark. 14-13, A.L. Brown leads West Cabarrus.
And I think South Rowan is. Did you give the South Rowan?
I was just about to hit that one.
the
Go ahead.
Concord?
I'll
Yeah,
let you do it.
What I don't have it in front of me, but go ahead with what you got.
What I got here, according to Max Prep, is South Rowan, Concord. South Rowan 14, Concord nothing. Halftime. Central Cabarrus and East Rowan. Central on top now. Central leads 22-14, second quarter there. So Central trying to get their first win. Somebody's going to get their first win of the year in that one.
Yeah, East Rowan, and East Rowan has won, I think, 5 games in the last 3 years, something like that.
And I'm not saying they should have won, but they've had some games where Central Cabarrus has had a shot to win some games this year. Against Piedmont, they had a shot, lost it late when they made a couple of mistakes. They had a shot, was it last week when we were there? Couple of mistakes late cost them that game. So they've been in some games. They got great athletes there at Central Cabarrus. Great coaching from their head coach, Bevilacqua.
Yeah, Zach Bevilacqua. And
they're putting it together as the year goes on, and this could be that first win of the year and something to build on.
Now let's go down to BenMinot.com halftime report. The Blue Regiment for Hickory Ridge on the field playing. We're going to listen in.
Welcome back in to Hickory Ridge. As you just heard, the Blue Regiment and the grand champions there at halftime, and a great performance by them. A little bit of a space theme.
Absolutely. And, well, I was out here a couple weeks ago for the Chambers game. I couldn't figure out what those things were, and I guess it looks like maybe they're moons and suns and stars, but looks like some, I don't know what the little things on the back are. They look like a little wave or something.
That's what I was exactly about to say. It looks like a wave. But good luck to them in competition, because that was a phenomenal performance. Them and Robinson, their bands are phenomenal. Phenomenal bands at both of those schools. I've got to see them this year. Nothing against any of the other bands, but those two have really stood out to me this year.
They got a lot more members, too, than some of the bands. For whatever reason, bands have really fallen off across Cabarrus County. I think Mount Pleasant and Central Cabarrus are actually combined bands.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
And they still don't have a lot of people.
Well, I'll ask you this. I haven't really looked into basketball season much, and I know basketball's going to slowly be here before we know it. Is it looking like it's going to be the same there in Cabarrus County? It looks like the Central Cabarrus and the Robinson Bulldogs are going to smash heads again and decide who does what in that area?
Hard to say. Hard to say in that league. I would say Concord probably would have something to say about it. Jim Baker moved on to Cannon School, the head coach. Until somebody takes the crown from Central Cabarrus, it's theirs to wear.
I agree with you. It's going to be tough. And I was just curious on that. As the clock down to 1:50 here, I don't think they've set the 3-minute mandatory up there on the clock yet.
No, not yet. I don't think so. So we still got about a little less than 5 minutes left in the halftime. And Central Cabarrus, we've been to Central so many times. We talk about Hickory Ridge.
Yep.
Is going to get the ball to start the second half.
Yes, Hickory Ridge gets ball to start second half, only trailing by 8. And we talked about it there right before the half when they kicked that field goal. Don't go hunting points yet.
Or kick the extra point, yeah.
And that's exactly what they did. They kicked that extra point. They didn't go hunting for that 2-point conversion. They just took the extra point, made it 14. They trail by 8. You get the ball to start the second half. I don't know that you chase it if you score again. I think you just kick the field goal, take the points, and hope that your defense can step up and done what they've done. Then you drive back down the field and just take the lead. So I think it'd be tough to chase points right now if you're head coach Jupiter Wilson, and I think he'll play it real smart and safe there.
And I think we are coming through just a little bit on the NFHS Network.
Nice.
Just trying to check in there. It's really low. We have no control over the volume that is automated off of these machines. So we send as much volume as we can, but it did sound like we were coming through just a minute ago. So
hello to everyone
to our friends on
there.
the NFHS Network.
Hello to everybody watching there. Well, before we go back to action, I'll give you a rundown of what each team has got left here in the season. Next week for Lake Norman, they are at home against Cox Mill. And then the following week, they're at home against South Iredell on 10-25. And the final game of the year on 11-1, they are at Mooresville. Next week for Hickory Ridge, they are on a bye. Then they go to Cox Mill on 10-25, and their final game of the year is at home against West Cabarrus. And the little teaser I gave there before we went, I told you guys we'd give you at the Ben Minot Shop Click and Drive halftime show was, rumor has it, you've seen the text message, I've seen the text message, that the NCHSAA has decided to push the playoffs back 1 week because of all the weather and allow these teams to play one more game and then go on to the playoffs. So there's going to be some teams who have played all their games, like Hickory Ridge, that are going to get a bye. And there's going to be some teams that have to play that week leading into the playoffs. So they've pushed the playoffs back 1 week to allow these teams to get their other games in.
Well, you got a bunch of teams in the West that I don't know when they're going to play.
Yep.
You got all the teams in Buncombe County, Mitchell, Madison. I'm not sure where the high school is. They might be able to play, but the road's getting to it.
I don't think you're getting there.
I don't know if you're going to see anything. Some of the teams in the far west were better off than the teams right in the central mountains and going back toward Watauga, Ashe County.
Yep.
All those counties, Yancey. Anywhere you got a river or a creek, there was severe damage.
And allow those guys some more time to recover and get into the playoffs. They have decided to push the playoffs back 1 week for high school football. So,
And so that means the state championship will be the week before Christmas.
yep.
Well, we'll see. I'm not sure how many teams in the West are going to be able to play even with that. We saw that Appalachian State was reopening their campus, I believe, this afternoon.
Yes, they
So
were.
on the college side, they've been playing. They played at Marshall. I think they may be playing some of their home games away from Kit Brewer Stadium.
Yeah, they played at Marshall last week, as you mentioned, and they ended up losing that game. So, tough loss for the App State Mountaineers against the Marshalling Thundering Herd.
You ever been to Huntington?
I've drove through there, never been at their stadium.
It's pretty nice.
It's a really nice area. I've been to App State. My fiance's brother went there, so we were able to attend some App State football games and watch some stuff there. Never made it, like you said, to Mitchell to go see anything at Marshall Thundering Herd. I've drove by the Coastal Carolina Stadium there in Myrtle Beach.
Haven't been in that one.
I haven't been in it, but I drove by it.
And they fell last night to James Madison.
They did, and they fell bad.
Hard.
They fell real hard.
They didn't give up 70, but they lost significantly.
They definitely lost significantly, and as you just mentioned, they had a North Carolina quarterback there who played quarterback for them, and Grayson McCall, then transferred. NC State took that gruesome injury last week, and now they have a quarterback out there who transferred out of UNC and just played in Cornelius, North Carolina at Huff under Coach Jenkins and Tad Hudson. He left UNC, and he's now out there. So not starting this year, but North Carolina quarterback out there in Myrtle Beach as well.
You got guys scattered all over the place.
Yes, they do. As Kelly and Johnson back deep to receive. You've been listening to the Ben Minot Shop Click and Drive halftime show, and we are back underway here in Harrisburg. A short one that's going to be fielded on the far side of the field, and fair caught there by Wade Washington, the senior, at the 35-yard line.
Smart play there. Make that fair catch.
Actually mark it at the 34-yard line. That's the official spot after the fair catch. And like you said, that was a smart decision there by Washington to just fair catch it. There was a lot of pressure coming down him. No reason to make that catch any harder than it needed to be. So the
Tarbell's
offense
kicked it all over the place. He's had a couple directional kicks. He's had 2 onside kicks.
The offense led out there by their junior quarterback here, trying to strike, trailing by 8 with 12 minutes left on the clock here in the third quarter. They line up, trips tight to the line of scrimmage left, one to the right, working left to right with Morris in the backfield. They toss it to the running back of Morris, Johnson, who works left, and Johnson gets the ball up to the 39.
They run a little bunch set into the short side. It's a pretty good running formation because you got a lot of blockers out front. If you can just pop everybody, just get your man standing up or occupied. Got another score coming in on our Cannon Pharmacy scoreboard at the half. Mount Pleasant 22, Union Academy 7. Again, that game being broadcast on our Radio Free Cabarrus Facebook page. John Von Cannon, Chris Hudson with the call.
Stacked line, 2 wing backs. They move the wing back that's left side to run it. And that's Johnson, and Johnson slips and falls and then gets brought down the rest of the way at the 33. So
we just file that play under. We've seen this before. And there were 4 guys waiting when they brought that reverse out of the orbiting motion.
To a loss of 6 there is going to bring up a 3rd down and 11. Puts the ball back to the 33. Clock under 11 here. Needing a big play are the Ragin Bulls here.
Central Cabarrus up by 2 over East Rowan at the half, 22-20.
Good battle in East Rowan. Line up 4 receivers, split them each direction. The quarterback of Barrios set to throw, looks middle of the field, got a man, turned around, makes the catch at the 50, and a good turning catch as he turned around and brought that one in is Roberts.
Just kind of hit the soft spot in the zone, and he turned, and the ball was on his back shoulder, makes the catch. A good advance across midfield.
Puts the ball at the Lake Norman 49, moves the chain, and the Ragin Bulls able to battle out of a 3rd down and 11 and keep it going here on their first drive. Kelly in the backfield lines up to the right, now lines up directly behind his quarterback of Barrios. They've got receivers tight to the line. A little touch pass to the running back of Johnson, who came from the left side to the right, and he's stacked up
Maybe
near side.
a hold right at the line of scrimmage.
As he's stacked up near side by the numbers at the 45, and a flag flies and is setting right at midfield.
Right about where he turned upfield. Well, let's see. Maybe it's not.
They lined him up as the wing back on the left side. Got the little jet pass and took it in there. And there's an update there. You just said that one, the Mount Pleasant one.
Yeah, that's Mount Pleasant update from up in China Grove. Northwest Cabarrus 35, Jesse Carson 7. That's at the end of the third quarter.
Northwest Cabarrus, and that is the penalty. It is a holding penalty against the Ragin' Bulls. Puts them behind the chains and backs the ball up to the 41, their own 41.
That's a 1st and 20 now.
So a 1st and 20 here for the Ragin' Bulls. They'll come out 4 receivers, 2 each direction. They got Kelly in the backfield, and they put him to the right of Barrios, working left to right. Ball marked on the right hash. Barrios set to throw, got time. Pressure gets there and brings him down, and he's brought down back at his own 33.
He had Kelly that was kind of filtering out to the left. I don't think he realized it. If he did, he could have dumped that off, but the pressure was coming right up in his face.
And mark it at the 34, actually. So another loss of 6 on that play. And timeout here on the field.
22-14 our score here. Lake Norman with the lead. Their kicker threw a 2-point conversion pass.
Yeah.
That's where they get to the 22.
And it was pretty.
Oh, it was. He just floated one right over the defender, just dropped it in the hands of the receiver, and a well-covered receiver.
And give the credit to the long snapper who snapped that thing in there, because he threw a rocket right to the punter, or the kicker, who was able to do it. As Barrios lines up here, dumps it off into the middle of the field to Johnson, and Johnson hit instantly right as he caught that one at the 37.
Johnson gets up just kind of frustrated because he got drilled and it didn't really have much room to work. I'm not sure if that's a middle screen or they just kind of let him filter out and try to run through it. Quarterback got hit as he threw it as well.
Brings up a 3rd and 26 here. They'll put 2 receivers each direction. They got Kelly in the backfield behind Barrios. They're on the right hash, working left to right here, and a snap to Barrios on his 3rd and 21. There is a snap. Barrios steps back, pressure starts to get to him. He gets his face mask grabbed, and he just throws it away. Is able to grab a handful of it. There is going to be number 7. That's going to be Shuknik, the defensive lineman, the senior, who reached up there and grabbed the face mask of Barrios, and that's going to be a 1st down and 15 yards and keep this drive going.
That you really hate to see that, because he grabbed him. You could just kind of see his body extending out and his head being drugged. And it's not intentional. You reach up, you try to grab the guy, and sometimes that little piece of a face mask just gets right in your hand.
That's what happened there.
It's an automatic 1st down, too, on a personal foul.
And that's a big help for the Ragin' Bulls. Moves them back across midfield up to the 49 of Lake Norman. A new set of downs as they were facing a 3rd and 21 right there, way behind the chains. Now they got a 1st.
Well, no, they're
and
not
10.
giving them 1st down. It should be 1st down, I
It should be
believe.
a
They're
first
showing
down.
3rd down.
That should be a 1st down.
1st down?
Should be an automatic 1st down on a personal foul.
Oh, they're not calling it that way. They've got it 3rd and 9.
Okay. So a 3rd and 9 then. As Barrios set to throws. It doesn't matter. They get it anyways, as that one's going to be caught by Torres.
Torres with a nice reception, a good throw from Barrios. Just has just enough time to get away.
And a nice play there as they're able to get the 1st down.
Barrios going to need to see that trainer tomorrow. He's going to have to ice it down and get some Whirlpool and get some treatment, because he has been hammered all day long and might even have a sore neck after that face mask a minute ago.
I can agree with you on that one. That's going to be a false start on the Ragin' Bulls, as it looked like it was Roberts and Wooten who both jumped near side here.
Yeah, they were getting ready to shift and then realized that they weren't ready, that the quarterback was looking at the sideline.
That's going to back them up 5 yards and put the ball at the 37-yard line now. So a 1st and 15.
They got away with one like that earlier.
Yes, they did. They hand this one off to Kelly, and Kelly goes right up the middle, right down the right hash, and he picks up 1, maybe 2 to the 38, 39.
That defensive line for Lake Norman, they're just bruising up front. Big number 99 right in the middle of things, Dylan Ewald. We'd had 55 out there earlier. He's not out there right now, the T.J. Henderson, but they rotated, looks like 6 or 7 guys through there. I believe number 74, one of those guys, too, out there, Alessandro Sicolius Molina. And
Say that 3 times fast.
That probably wasn't right. I think Molina is, but I don't know about any of the other.
Barrios throws this one quick to Roberts. Roberts streaking up the field now to the center of the field, and that's going to be enough for the first down for the Ragin' Bulls as it's all the way up to the 28.
You don't see thread the needle on screenplays very often, but that's what happened. Barrios had to thread the needle to Roberts. Roberts did a good job grabbing it and then just kind of picking his way back to the middle of the field.
It's not a first down.
No, it's
there were
third down.
double markers
Okay.
there.
Oh, yeah,
Yep.
sorry about that.
I got myself looked. I looked at the marker and didn't see the far one. It was double markers because they were behind the chains there. So it brings up a 3rd and 5 with the ball at the 28.
They got past the back of the chains.
Yep.
That confuses me too.
When you see that, double markers, yeah, it's tough. As they flip this one to Johnson, who comes out of the backfield, and he tries to turn the corner and took a shot.
He got right to the white in a white jersey. I think the collision was Jeremy Mitchell again. We've called Mitchell's name a bunch of times in coverage, and that time coming over and just laid the shoulder into Johnson.
It's going to be a 4th and 3 after the pickup of 2. Moves the ball up to the 27. They line up 4 receiver set. They shift Robert in motion out of the slot from right to left. Now they got trips left, 1 right, Wooden the man to the right. Jupiter Wilson giving signals. 7 on the play clock. Barrios steps up, now steps back. Running back in the backfield is Johnson. There's the snap. They give it to Johnson. Johnson goes up the middle, and he doesn't get it.
Again, those guys up front. Big number 90 in on that one, stacking things up. Dimenos. I'm not sure if that's it. It's a Domenguaux.
Yeah,
He's probably from somewhere down in Louisiana.
Yeah, that's a tough one to say there.
I think also 24 was in on that play, coming in from a linebacker position. Michael Sandowski. Well, they got some names.
They got some tough names, don't they?
You folks up in Lake Norman, you're hurting me.
As there is a snap, they give it off to the ball carrier, but pulls it out as the quarterback of Kraft, and he keeps it himself and works it up the field down the right hash.
That's the first time we've seen Kraft run tonight.
It is.
It's that little read option, and they bit hard on the handoff, and he just pulled it out of the belly, and there was nobody at home on the right side.
Yeah, Wynn got about 14 there on that play and puts the ball at the 40-yard line. Working from right to left, they line up trips left, 1 right. Morris in the backfield. There's a snap to Kraft. They give it to Morris. Morris comes left side, still on his feet down the left hash, fighting forward and battling all the way up to the 50. And he was brought down almost at the 35, and he's got another 5 yards, and now a flag flies in there, Mark.
Dead ball. There was just a wake of blue jerseys on the ground. He just ran through about 3 guys and then made a big collision at the 50. I think somebody said something.
Got a couple of updates from Perry on our Cannon Pharmacy scoreboard there, Mark. He's got South Rowan 14, Concord 0 at half, Robinson 41, West Rowan 0 third quarter, East Rowan 22, and Central Coerce 20 at half. Thanks, Perry, for the updates for our Cannon Pharmacy scoreboard there. And if Perry's listening to us, hey, Perry, we got a question for you. You can chime in here and maybe send us a text and let us know why. When they had that face mask there, they did not give them the first down. When it was a first down and 21, it made it a 3rd down and 9. They got the first down anyways, but why was that not a first down? Because we thought all personal fouls were. If you were listening, can you
that's
tell us?
why we 6:04 left third quarter, 22-14. The penalty, unsportsmanlike conduct against Lake Norman is a big one. 15-yard mark off after they pick up the first down. So they're going to start it 1st and 10 at the 35.
at their own 35.
Yeah. They
Working-
were out near midfield.
Yeah, they were at the 50. He took that hit at the 45 and fight.
Coach Oliphant wants to know what's the deal there.
Yeah.
He's pointing back out toward the midfield, that big H that's got horns.
Yeah, he wants to know why.
Big center circle here.
Have conversation with the white hat. Gives him a thumbs up. I think he got the explanation, at least that he wanted. I don't know if it was the explanation he liked.
My
But
guess is he's trying to figure out who did what.
yeah, might have to run a little bit more in practice on Monday.
Yeah, somebody may be doing dust busters or something.
Doing something. It ain't no fun when you're the one who gets a unsportsmanlike thrown against you, and you got to go do some sprints or something. So they're going to line up. 3 receivers, 2 to the right, 1 to the left. They give it to Morris. Morris comes left side, trucks over a man at the 40 and fights forward to the 42 as he lowered the shoulder and ran through one of the Bulls that was standing there waiting on him.
I think Lake Norman coaching staff must have challenged those guys and say, we're going to run the football here in the second half, because they had the quarterback run for 14. They've had a couple of big runs coming out of the backfield from their running backs.
2nd and 3 here. Ball spotted at the 42 of Lake Norman. Working left to right. They put 2 right, 2 left. Or 1 left. As they hand this one off to Morris, and he swallowed up right at the 39.
I think
41.
he could have pulled that one and ran for a long way, but I don't think they want to run the freshman quarterback a lot.
No, we saw him early when he did that. We talked about it. He thought about running back here when he was near the Pizza Hut red zone on his end of the field. And he was running real careless with it, with him swinging it around, and we got lucky that he didn't pop it out there. And I think the coach is trying to be conservative there.
Well, you don't want to
that.
you go into quarterback beat up too when you don't have to.
Now they split him 2 each direction. Able to avoid the pressure is Kraft, still on his feet, spinning, and he's fighting forward, brought down at
He's
the
a yard
44.
short, but there's a holding penalty in the backfield at the 36, so they're going to mark him back. Well, let's see. It'll be 4th down and 1, or it'll be 3rd down and probably 15.
No, with that flag spotted, it'll be 3rd down and 20, because that's right at.
You'll see where they mark it off, though. They may mark it from the line of scrimmage. If they mark it from the line of scrimmage, it won't be quite as bad for Lake Norman.
See where they decide to mark it, like you said, because if they go from spot of found, they are going from the line of scrimmage at the 39. So it won't be quite as bad. The flag was tossed back at the 35. So if it went from the 35, that's the original line of scrimmage. I would have really put them behind it. They do take the penalty, it marks it off, and it makes it a 3rd and 14.
3rd and 14. I don't know if I'd have done this or not. I'd give, pretty good quarterback a chance to throw for 14 yards.
Yeah, 5 receivers set here. Morris wide open as he beats his man and overthrows him. Morris was streaking to the house.
Just not enough air under it. He threw it a little flat. Morris was wide open in between the safety was coming hard over the top, but he was way out of the picture.
Yeah, Tristan Crumpler was the one in coverage there, and Morris did a little inside route and then jumped back outside on that double move and had him beat.
Yeah,
Kraft
if he
just didn't
catches
hook
that
up.
ball, it's one man to beat for 6.
It's all it was, and Morris just couldn't bring it in. The punting unit comes out there for Lake Norman. And
So good stop for Hickory Ridge defense. They aided by a couple of penalties and a timeout taken by Lake Norman.
4:38 here, score 22-14 as Lake Norman calls a timeout, leading by 8. 3rd quarter here. Johnson going to be the one that returns it for the Hickory Ridge Ragin Bulls, and we'll look and see if we can find some updates on our Cannon Pharmacy scoreboard here.
Yes, we got some games probably going to be getting close to their completion. I haven't seen too many here. It gives us an opportunity, too, to tell you about some of the sponsors for today's broadcast. The Independent Tribune, C. Jamal Horton. Go to independenttribune.com. Got athlete spotlights, all kinds of highlights, and all kinds of sports coverage from Cabarrus County. Also, if you're over in the Lake Norman area, sister paper, the Statesville Record and Landmark. I have a different name for them. I call them off the air. I won't say that on the air. And the Mooresville Tribune, both over in Iredell County.
As this one is up in the air and a bad punt for Lake Norman. It takes a bounce at the 50, but bounces all the way down to the 41 of Hickory Ridge. So 11 more yards after that punt, but that one kind of went more high than it did anywhere.
Yeah, I did. I probably ought to tell you the names. I can give you some derogatory newspaper names.
Okay.
Being in the newspaper, the Kannapolis Daily Independent used to be called the Daily Mistake.
The day.
It's still the Daily Independent. I don't know what they called us. I worked at the Concord Tribune, but before the Daily Independent and the Concord Tribune merged.
Yep.
We always called the Statesville Record and Landfill instead of Statesville Record and Landmark. And of course, the Charlotte Observer is the Charlotte Disturber.
The Disturber.
The Charlotte Disturber.
There is the
I thought he
jet
might pass it. Ooh.
Oh, it was a jet pass that got leveled was Torres after he caught it in the backfield there.
I thought he might just step back and try to rear back and throw it, but there's nothing doing there. Lake Norman is that's kind of injury to insult. You lose 3 yards and then get flagged for holding.
That's going to back you up. And the holding penalty from the line of scrimmage was at the 40. That'll move you back to your own 30. See if they accept it or if they decline it.
It's like some of the Lake Norman people are either got up and walked around or not in the stands anymore.
Yeah, heading home or something, because it's getting a little bit lighter over there on the Lake Norman side as it's now back to the 30-yard line after the holding penalty backs them up 10 yards to make it a 1st and 20.
And the band who played almost the whole first half have all their instruments sitting in the stands, and they're not doing anything.
They're not even around. I don't
I
even
don't
see
know where
them.
they went.
I don't even see the band. So a 1st down and 20 with the ball at their own 30. They hand this one off to Johnson. Johnson comes near side across the numbers and runs out of bounds near side.
Boy, Mitchell looked at him like, I'm going to put the pop on you again, and Johnson got a little farther out of bounds.
Smart move for Johnson to get out of bounds and save that wear and tear, but a good piece of running there from Johnson makes this a 2nd down and 12 now instead of a...
It's still long, but it's more makeable. 4:06 left, 22-14 Lake Norman. Both offenses have kind of stagnated a little bit. A lot of it has to do with penalties.
I agree.
We've had they've been able to get pass rush on both quarterbacks in the second half, and that's created some holding penalties.
They run this one right up the middle with Johnson, and Johnson runs this one up to the 43, and a good piece of running there as they lined up with trips left.
3rd and 7 now.
It makes it manageable here. Right now they've leaning on Johnson on this series to get this 1st down.
You go from 1st and 20 to 3rd and 7. That's you made progress.
Mm-hmm.
If you get it really close, you could still take a chance and go if you get half of this or come up a yard or two short.
As they're going to line up here with the play clock down to 10. Barrios directing traffic. They're going to put trips tight left.
That's that little
right.
bunch set. We saw him run behind that earlier.
Johnson lined up to the right of his quarterback. Fakes the handoff. Barrios set to throw. Looks deep. Got Wooden. Overthrows it. Mitchell with the interception at the 30 and runs out of bounds. And Mitchell's had a shot to get it 3 times, and that time he comes down with it.
I tell you what. Well, he caught one out of bounds.
He caught one out of bounds, and then he couldn't bring one in.
He had one that was short. Man, I tell you what. When you guys are looking for all conference defensive backs, up number 2, he's played a heck of a game today, and he's been closer to getting the ball than most of the Hickory Ridge receivers.
He has been lights out as they spot this one at the 33-yard line after the interception there by Mitchell. 3:10 left here, so the ball spotted at their own 33, working from right to left as the freshman of Caden Kraft heads back out there. There's the snap. They fake the handoff, and Kraft keeps it on the quarterback keeper, rolling right, gets to the number, spins, gets hit, still on his feet, spinning, and he's going to be brought down at the 35. Is the freshman of Caden Kraft and able to pick
Hickory
up 5.
Ridge came up with the ball, but it was after the whistle blew. Coming out of there with the football was Carter Bowman.
So
I'm really skittish on the Hickory Ridge roster that I've got now after calling a couple names that didn't seem to match.
I can completely understand that one. As they line up, 3 receivers left, 1 to the right. Morris in the backfield. That's not Morse. That is the other ball carrier who works to the right. That is 15. That's going to be Norvet, who runs it.
Norvet runs hard, too. We saw a really good run in the first half.
You're both pretty much dressed the same. They got pink on and about the same size, and you can't really tell who is who until they start running east and west.
Yeah, it's difficult. The band's returned.
They are here. Must have took a bathroom break.
Some of them look like they're eating.
White gloves going back on.
Yep, they're getting ready. They're getting ready to start playing during the action, I guess.
3rd and 6 here with the ball thrown. 37. They shift a man in motion. Kraft calls for it, gets it. Steps back, and a flag flies in.
They're going to stop that one.
Should be a false start or a legal procedure. Man was still in motion. I don't know if he ever got set.
No, false start. Yeah. Tell you a band story. I was doing a game of doing color on WRKB in Kannapolis with I can't remember my man's name. He was a play-by-play guy for the Wonders and was doing Wonder Radio. This back when Harding, before they called it Harding University, they just called it Harding High School. And Harding comes up to play. Their band gets off the bus midway through the second quarter, marches out to the edge of the field. I'll tell you the rest of it after
Kraft
this.
gets the snap and set to throw. He takes off running, works across the numbers, far side of the field. Got the first down, still at the 50, and a flag flies in, and he runs out of bounds.
Yeah, there got to be a blocking penalty, and there's a Hickory Ridge player that somebody peeled back on, and he has just knocked him silly.
So he is down on the ground.
It'll wipe out the first down most likely. It may be a blindside block. Well, we could see Kraft can fly. He was very quick on that play. But the Harding bus is, we're about midway through the second quarter. Kannapolis is thumping Harding. That's back when they were playing 3, I guess, and they're up at Memorial Stadium, Kannapolis. The Harding band gets off the bus, walks onto just off the playing surface. Comes halftime, they march onto the field. They play. They march off the field, go straight back to the bus, and headed back to Charlotte.
Wow, that is
and I was just like,
different.
a little appreciate your support there.
Yeah, that was a little different. Speaking of Harding, struggling again this year, and won a state championship about 5 years ago, and kind of struggling again this year.
The year they won that, Jay Iverson and I did the Western Regional Finals at Harding. And Quatavius Crouch was the big running back, went to Tennessee.
Yep.
He's now back at Johnson C. Smith, and he's Johnson C. Smith rolling, having one of their best seasons in literally decades.
Yeah, Quavar's playing good football. They're carrying this young man off the field. Wow, that just scooped him right on up. Now, there was another player that I just saw recently, too, that was a quarterback that's at Johnson. Oh, I know who it is. Darius Ocean, who used to play at Hickory Ridge. Darius Ocean went to Temple and then left Temple, and he's at Johnson C. Smith. So you now have Darius Ocean and Quavar's Crouch both over there at Johnson C. Smith in the Salisbury area.
The injured player is number 19. See what you have for number 19.
I have Carter Bowman.
Okay, that's who I've got, too. So Bowman, helmet off. They carried him to the sideline. The training staff attended to him, but I wonder if it's lower leg or something. But he's laying on the sideline right now with one of the trainers just kind of standing over him.
Kraft gets the snap on 3rd and 17, middle of the field, throws it, and that's going to be caught. He just wanted that one more as he went up there and got it. That's coming down with it is Jacobson.
Jacobson speared that in his hands, just leaped between two defenders, and that was a bullet. I mean, Kraft just threw a strike right in the middle of the field.
That's caught smack dab in the middle of the field, like you said there, Mark, and Jacobson just went up there and just wanted it more over the two defenders of Hickory Ridge and comes down with it, moves the chains, 1st and 10 with the ball thrown, 48 now. Come out 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. They hand this one off to the ball carrier who goes up the middle. That's Morris. It's not Morris. That's you can't tell until they turn your back on you there,
that's Jaden Norfelt. Nordfelt, boy, their running backs run hard.
Yeah.
And I think Hickory Ridge line is starting to wear down a little bit.
Northfelt stays in there as the running back behind Kraft. They put trips to the right, 1 to the left, working left to right, 1st and 10 after that run from Northfelt. Northfelt comes up to the left side, now works towards the right, across the right hash, now across the right numbers, and he's going to be brought down on the right far sideline, but another 1st down, and it moves the ball up to the Hickory Ridge 28.
We called Noah Jacobson's number a minute ago on that great reception that got the long conversion. He just set a block about 10 yards down the field and got another 7 or 8 yards for the running back, and he just put his man on roller skates and just popped him. You could kind of see him lift up a little bit, and a really nice block by a wide receiver.
Somebody pops you right in the pads and gets you.
Yeah, gets you just kind of off balance and, lifts those cleats up off the turf.
Like you said, it feels like you're on skates. You're on marbles or ice. You can't move. You can't do anything. And
got an official timeout.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what the timeout's for.
the
We got an injured. We got an injured player here on the Hickory Ridge sideline.
Oh, yep, there we go.
And
right
I was just getting ready to say we haven't seen cramps today, and we got a leg in the air now, and that may be a cramp. But overnight, when I got up this morning, it's 45 degrees.
It was chilly this morning.
Yeah, and I think I don't know what the high temperature was today, maybe 71.
I don't know what it was in this area. I know at my place it got up to 75. I went out there and I tried to swing the old sticks around a little bit.
What are those, like cow pasture pool?
Yep.
That's what you called it up in the mountains, cow pasture pool.
I just played a little cow pasture pool, you know what I'm saying? Chased a little white ball after I hit it. Not my best performance today, but hey.
Looks like, according to my Apple Watch, 57 degrees currently.
Currently, it is. You can definitely tell that it's getting into fall weather. You look down, cheerleaders wearing hoodies that say cheer across them. Look in the seats here.
Hey, I got a hoodie on too. Hey, like that.
You got a hoodie on. See?
My Couch to 5K hoodie we got yesterday.
That's a good looking hoodie there. See, I thought about wearing one, but instead I threw on a polo.
I had a heavier one. I took it off.
Took it off. I think I'm gonna be regretting it on the way out of here when it's a little cooler.
22-14, Lake Norman with the lead. They are just grinding this ball down the field with 1:11 left in the third quarter. Boy, you feel like if they punch it in here, it would go a long way toward deciding this game.
I agree. I think it would go a long way from deciding this game if they punch one in here because they're up 8. If they put another one in here and go up 7 more, you're only going to touch the ball about twice in that quarter if you're Hickory Ridge, and you got to strike both times. This one's clock now running. They put trips left, one to the right. They hand this one off to Morris. Morris dancing around, finds a seam, goes up the middle, and Morris brought down at the 17-yard line, and they'll make a stop inside the Pizza Hut red zone.
What is it Chris Berman does? Whoop, whoop, whoop. And he did a little whoop, whoop, whoop there because he just bounced in front of one guy, popped in front of another, and next thing you know, he's to 16.
He was dancing around making some nice moves, was Morris in the backfield. Again, line up trips left, one right. First down and 10 here. Morris gets it, works right, gets stacked up and grabbed around the ankle and falls forward. And it'll be brought down at the 13-yard line.
Well, the defensive lineman for Hickory Ridge, number 45, it looks like Jack McCowan. We haven't called McCowan much tonight. McCowan's always involved in the plays, but McCowan stacked up the tackle and basically forced that ball back inside for the shorter gain that it might have been.
Should be the final play of the third quarter here as they hand it off to Morris. Morris finds a seam up the middle. Morris fighting forward, and he gets hit and rolls forward inside the 5 down to the 3, and another hard run from Morris.
Well, he took the safety and just rolled over him. There was a collision between number 9 and number 9.
Once they get Morris up and down the field, north and south, he is moving. They pull Morris out.
That's the end of the quarter.
They pull Morris on this next play out. And
now we've had 2 quarter changes where they've gone to at least 95 yards on quarter change. Perry, if you're listening, man, they're killing our referees tonight.
Yeah, he said
there's no 50. There's no 50-yard quarter changes. We've got one from the 5 and one from the 3.
And they are jogging down the field. As that gives us a time here real quick, we can thank some of our sponsors there, Mark.
Yeah, of course, the Carolina Renaissance Festival, weekend 2, starts this weekend. We've also got Carolina Pizza Hut by Wilkinson Funeral Home, Heilich Wilkinson and Company, Cabarrus County's newspaper, the IndependentTribune.com. Carolina Renaissance Festival, we mentioned, the Southern Christmas Show is coming up. That's right around the corner. And Cannon Pharmacy, I'm headed over actually to True Care. It was part of the Cannon Pharmacy family. I've got a Medicare appointment and an appointment to get my COVID and flu shot coming up Monday over at True Care, which is part of the Cannon Pharmacy Network.
Nice.
So CannonPharmacies.com, home of free delivery.
Nice. We love hearing free delivery. Real quick,
We
have an
like
update.
free.
Update on our Cannon Pharmacy scoreboard. This game final. Northwest Cabarrus 42, Carson 7. A game according to Max Prep final.
I've got another final in, 48-6, I believe the final. J.M. Robinson over West Rowan. So the juggernaut that is J.M. Robinson continuing.
Well, let's just say this too as well. If this shows you how I'm just letting everybody know where this is and to let them know that it's coming from Max Prep and we don't know if it's final. It says the score here right now is third quarter Lake Norman Hickory Ridge. It says the score is 50-6. When we look at the board, it says 22-14.
It's 22-14, and we can tell you there's not been 50 points scored.
No, there is not. That's a high snap, able to get it down and get it to the ball carrier, fighting towards the goal line, and he just bullies his way in there. That's going to be...
That's 15, I believe, this time.
It's Norvet.
So that makes it 28-14. That's the first score. It comes here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I think it's the first score in the second half.
First quarter, the second. Yeah, I'm sorry. I should have been clear about that.
No, you're good. That's the first quarter of the second half. Nobody scored in the third quarter. It took 12 minutes and 5 seconds for anybody to score here in the second half. As there are some flags on the field, so hold the phone.
Maybe I shouldn't be
I see
writing that in my
flags there.
scorebook yet.
I just saw them as I saw the officials huddled up. So hold the phone. That one might be coming back.
We may have another one of these unsportsmanlike. Everybody's getting their card out and starting writing.
Yeah, they are writing something down.
Yeah, White Hat says, hey, where's a good place to eat after the game? And the guy says, well, I think there's some place over there in town center. And he said, is that the bunkhouse or something? They said, let me write that down so I know what that is.
Whoa,
what was that?
They launched some shirts. They shot some shirts out of that cannon there.
Oh, I wasn't sure what was happening. I just
smashed right off the press box.
Yeah, this one lady just got knocked off her. She's got one of those folding backs to her chair and got knocked off the bleacher.
Well, hey, I can tell you this much, Mark. They're showing us what's going on here. I don't know if anybody was paid attention or listened to our baseball game when we went and did a baseball game there about a year ago, Mark. And, well, the reason Mark's a little gun-shy with things flying at the window is he about caught a baseball with his chest on a foul ball. So
we were at East Mecklenburg, and and it sounded like we'd been shot.
Yeah.
Fortunately, it was a plexiglass. But I mean, we're standing in the press box like we are now, and the ball hits the touchdown's going to stand. So they're going to kick extra points. So Norvet, how long a run did we call that one?
That one was 3 yards.
3-yard run. And Tarbell to kick.
As we await the extra point here. The snap, the place, the kick, it's up, and it is good. The score, 30-14 here with 11:55 left in his ball game.
29.
29, sorry. I didn't know they added it already. Yeah, it was 22.
29, yeah.
It was 22, yeah. 22-7 makes it 29.
Yeah, that's a big touchdown. That Hickory Ridge has really struggled to score all season long, and to ask him to score 15 points in the fourth quarter is a tall ask.
Yeah, that as you were saying there, Mark, about that baseball game, we were standing there and we were calling the game. Everything was going well, and the plexiglass was in front of us, and all of a sudden it sounded like a shotgun went off.
Oh, yeah.
And it was heading right towards your chest.
I mean, I was just standing. I could see the ball. I could see the seams on the ball. I was thankful that was a plexiglass and not these windows right here. This would go right through this.
It'd go right through this, yeah. So Mark's a little gun shy, as I would be as well if I saw something flying towards the window after a situation like that. But that was just a shirt shot out of a shirt cannon here. If you're in the area and you're looking for something to do on a Friday night and Hickory Ridge is playing, you can come out here and try to catch yourself a shirt.
The band's playing again.
Yes, they are.
They played all through the first half. They played the halftime show. They left for a while, and now they've come back. They don't even stop when the play's going.
No, they just keep going.
I thought there was a rule against that, but
I thought there was too. After the 3-yard touchdown run from Norvet, they will kick this one off from left to right. Hickory Ridge set to receive. You got Kelly and Johnson back. They kick this one long in the direction of Kelly, but it's going to bounce out of bounds. And the Hickory Ridge Ragin Bulls.
You could
will-
I think either taking it to 35 or you can make them re-kick. And it
And I
looks
think
like they're
they're
going to
gonna
take
take
it. Take it to 35.
And I don't hate that decision if you're head coach Jupiter Wilson to take that because
It's been an adventure on these kicks. They're kicking them all. They're not going deep on any of them. And just,
no.
you had one heads-up play because one of your guys up front stayed in his spot and caught the onside kick. Everybody else had peeled and run back to block,
Yep.
and they'll put it on the far hash mark on the 35. So
Working
see
from
what
right to
Hickory Ridge
left.
has got. You get a touchdown on a good drive here, you're still in the ball game, get a defensive stop, and, stranger things have happened.
Working right to left, ball spotted at the 35. Two receivers each way. Barrios from the right hash burns one to the numbers on the far side of the field. It's caught by his receiver at the 38. I could not get a jersey number on who caught that
Yeah, I
one.
didn't see it. It was
He burned it in there, and the guy was swarmed up instantly.
there
and I
was
couldn't
white
see who it
jerseys
was.
all around him too. He just kind of posted up about 3 or 4 yards downfield.
So pick up a 3, moves the ball up to the 38, 2nd and 7. They split the receivers 2 each way again. Barrios set to throw. This time looks deep and overthrows his target, trying to get that one to Wooten.
Got to zip the ball, but that's where you have to kind of touch it in. You got to drop it in. You got to go over the linebacker in front of the safety, and he tried to just fire it, and it went even over the safety's head.
He threw that one a long ways. 3rd and 7, ball at their own 38. Clock stopped 11:25. Score 29-14. Lake Norman on top. They come out with 4 receivers, 2 each way. Ball on the right hash. He dumps this one off into the flat on a screen. It's going to be caught from Johnson. Johnson fights forward up
He's
to the
got
45.
the first down. That last dive got it.
That's not Johnson. That's a 4. That's going to be Roberts with the catch.
Really good middle screen. He just brought a couple of linemen across the field as the quarterback dropped back, and I think maybe the tight end and one of the tackles, and then they ran the running back right behind him.
Johnson behind him now in the flat. He throws this one. It's going to be caught by his man on the left side. That's going to be enough for a first down as he gets that one to Nick Castricone.
We may have a 15-yard penalty added on. Let's see.
As the quarterback got
Roughing
buried.
the quarterback. Yeah, one of the blockers got buried too. But it's a roughing a quarterback, so Barrios gets up.
Walks towards the sideline. Looks like he's in a little bit of pain after getting buried, but he's okay and will remain in the game.
His right tackle got crunched too, and he was getting up off the ground afterwards.
So after that 15-yard penalty, that marches the ball all the way up inside the 30, all the way down to the Lake Norman 27. So a huge mistake there. It gives the Hickory Ridge Ragin Bulls some life here, trailing by 15 with 11:03 and only needing to punch this one in there.
Just a 2-score game and still almost a full quarter left.
2 receivers each direction here. He slows up Barrios and looks towards his head coach, Jupiter Wilson, on the sideline. He's got Johnson in the backfield who lines up to his left. Barrios waits for the snap. Thought about moving Johnson in motion and decided better of it. Now Barrios rolls to the right, on the right hash, now at the right numbers. Stops, sets his feet, throws, and he throws it away as he's outside of the tackle box.
Great pursuit that time. Lake Norman, again, that big number 9, Dominicanos.
Jacob, we'll just call him Jacob D.
Jacob D.
We can definitely say that much. How's that? And a timeout called here from Hickory Ridge with 10:32, facing a 2nd down and 10. The ball at the Lake Norman 27. Head coach Jupiter Wilson decides to call a timeout to get the play call he wants and try to punch this one in to the end zone. See if we can get some updates here on our Cannon Pharmacy scoreboard. So far, these scores will be provided to you via Max Prep. So all this subject to change. We're just going off what we see here, folks.
Yeah, that one score, I don't know who on earth reported that one, but that was a bad report.
Yeah, it's still live. 3rd quarter live. Lake Norman 50, Hickory Ridge 6. We are looking at it, folks. It is 29-14. So that one not correct. Northwest 42, Carson 7. That one says it's final. Mooresville 28, South Iredale 9, 4th quarter. Statesville leads 26-0 over West Iredale. A.L. Brown and West Cabarrus, 4th quarter, 14-13. A.L. Brown leads.
Your buddies up at Oak Grove 10, North Davidson nothing. That's early third quarter.
What a matchup there. And this one here says we're in the third quarter with Central and West Rowan. Central leads that one 37-20, up 17.
Mount Pleasant 22, Union Academy 14. That's in the third quarter. That comes in from the Mount Pleasant Athletic Department.
South Stanley and Albemarle 26-20. South Stanley leads that one. Back here in Harrisburg, we're facing a 2nd and 10. Quarterback decides to keep it to Barrios. Comes near side and runs out of bounds just short of the 20 at the 21.
Good play by Barrios. That time, he didn't try to string it out to the side. He saw an alley. He took what he could get, and that's going to keep him in a positive territory. It's still third down, but it's a third and makeable 4.
And I'm sure that conversation that Jupiter Wilson had on the sideline says, don't take a negative play. We are in 4-down territory here. Get something positive. We need a touchdown here, and that's exactly what Barrios did. As they come out here, trips to the left, one to the right, tight. Ball on the left hash. Barrios set to throw, goes out in the flat. That should have been picked off as that was in the hands of the defender there, but he couldn't catch it, and he would have took that all the way to the house was Will Minter, and Will Minter was the one that missed that big tackle that allowed Kelly to score earlier. That one would have been huge.
Minter coming up for his outside linebacker position, and that's another one. Is Barrios. We've seen him throw that sidearm, kind of try to get it around. He tried that sidearm that time and threw it right into the hands of number 11.
And he just couldn't hold on to it. And, man, they got away with one there. Barrios did. It's a 4th down and 3, needing 3 here. They put trips to the left. Now they shift a man from the left to the right. That's going to be Roberts, and a timeout called on the sideline by head coach Jupiter Wilson to get the right play call here with 10:22 left. And real quick, Perry, if you're listening, just want to let you know, they do have Krispy Kreme donuts here. I know how much you love them. I saw it. I just saw a man walk back into the bleachers with it. When me and Perry were here last time, he had to go get some. I don't blame him for it. Krispy Kreme donuts are great. They are here.
Yeah, you just go over there on Concord Mills Boulevard. They got that Hot Now sign on all the time on Concord Mills Boulevard.
Yes, they do.
Mount Pleasant, 29. Union Academy, 14. Chris Hudson and John Von Cannon with the call on our Facebook channel tonight. And Chris sending us that score update.
Great facilities there at Mount Pleasant. Just like here at Hickory Ridge, both of them.
So we're getting ready for a big 4th down coming up. 29-14. Lake Norman with the lead here.
Head coach Daniel Crosby over there in his 2nd year as head coach, taking over the Tigers in Tigertown, building a great program out there for them as we face here a 4th and 3 as Barrios gets the snap, rolls right, got a man who slips and falls as Johnson, and Johnson was wide open, tried to make the stop. Cleats came unhinged from the ground, and he goes down in a good show of sportsmanship there from the Lake Norman guys as they help him up after he slips, and that cooler weather just makes this field slick.
A little slicker. Yeah, he was down around the 10-yard line. It would have been a first down. He might have, if he's able to catch it and maintain his footing, he might have scored on that play.
And just that little bit of dew in the cool weather.
Yeah, that now 2 timeouts left for both teams by my count.
I think only 1 left for Hickory Ridge. I think Hickory Ridge has used 1. I know
they've used 1. I wasn't sure if they've used 2. They'll just kind of plow the ball forward for good yardage.
Pick the ball up. Pick up about 8 there on the first down run as they run that with Morris. And I thought they used 2. I thought they called 1 before the 3rd down play and they called 1 on that 4th down play as well.
It's possible. Yeah, I knew they called 1. I
could be wrong as well.
I didn't get the second one. The scoreboard has not updated. They've had 1 update and two halves here.
Yes,
they've taken one timeout off of the 6 for each team.
Kraft gets the snap, sets the throw, looks near side, got his guy Mosley, who makes the catch. Mosley streaking down the sideline after he babbled that one, and he's in there for the touchdown.
Wow.
As Kyle Mosley on the huge touchdown.
What's that, 70?
That ball was at the 28-yard. Ball was at the 28.
28, so a 72-yard touchdown pass.
Yep.
That's a heck of a catch because it was a jump ball. He was much taller than the defender, and he just jumped, had trouble handling it, but catches it on the bobble. The defender thought he was going to go out of bounds, and he just runs away from the defender.
Like you said, bobbled it there. Mosley did. And once he bobbled it, he brought it in and just streaked down the near sideline here and went 72 yards to the house on the pass from Kraft to Mosley. With 9:31, we wait the extra point here. There's the place, the snap, the kick. It is up in the score here, 36-14. 9:31, and so far here in the fourth quarter, it's been all Lake Norman.
I tell you what, West Cabarrus must have played good to beat this team. They have got some talent on this Lake Norman team.
Yeah, West Cabarrus had to play really well.
Kraft he's got good weapons, and he really throws a nice ball. And just a freshman.
Only a freshman throwing dimes out there. Look and see if we can get some updates on our Cannon Pharmacy scoreboard here. I'm not seeing anything as of recent.
That's likely the backbreaker. 36-14, Lake Norman with the lead. Hickory Ridge got down inside. They're right at the edge of the Pizza Hut red zone. So the kickoff coming. See if Hickory Ridge can get some electricity and answer back quick.
Kicking off.
9:31 left.
Kicking off from left to right, like you said, Mark. 9:31 left. Johnson and Kelly back deep to receive. It's a short one that Kelly will try to jump on, but it pops out of bounds, but was touched before.
Yeah, it was touched, so it's going to be right there.
Should be around the 27.
I think that ball was going to stay in bounds too, so he had to catch it.
Now we got the score right here on the. Well, they changed. It says since they've scored, it's been changed, but it's now 29-14.
Yeah, so there's still a score off on it.
The Robinson game final. Robinson, according to Max Prep, 48. Robinson 7. West Rowan. Robinson wins pretty heavily yet again.
Have they given up more than 7 points in a game?
They have. I don't know who they gave it up to. They have had a phenomenal season so far, the Robinson Bulldogs, under Coach Seidel over there. I'll look at their schedule real quick and tell you if they have. Yeah, they gave up 8.
Okay.
They gave it to West Cabarrus. Gave up 8 to West Cabarrus. As the Ragin Bulls line up with the ball at their own 27, 2 each way. They hand this one off to Johnson, who goes up the middle, and he gets it back to the line. He'll lose a yard, they say.
He just disappeared among those big white jerseys.
Moves the ball back to the 26. So a loss of 1 from Morris. Clock continues to run. Down to 9:10 left here in the game. Scored 36-14. Lake Norman on top of Hickory Ridge. They put 2 receivers each direction here, working left to right, ball in the right half. Shift a man in motion of Wooten. Barrios trying to make something happen. He scrambles to the right first, now back to the left. He throws this one into the Lake Norman sideline.
Somebody made a good catch over there in a white hat.
Yes, they did. As Barrios was running every which direction there to get rid of that football. They shift Wooten in motion there, and it looked like they were going to do maybe a little jet pass, and they decided better of it. Instead, it's an incomplete pass that makes it a 3rd down and 11 with 8:50 left here.
If you happen to be in the stands, it's half-price hot dogs here at the Ridge.
Hey, that is a good thing to say.
Yeah. They've got ketchup and mustard to put on it, and mayonnaise, if you want mayonnaise.
If you want some mayonnaise, they got it. As they are lined up, 4 receivers, 2 each way. They shift Johnson out of the backfield into the flat. Barrios looks, goes to the middle of the field. He finds his guy. He makes the catch, and he's near midfield at the 48, and I can't see who it is, so I don't want to say the name yet, but the quarterback got buried yet again, and a flag back near him. That's Wooten with the catch, and it's probably going to be another 15.
He was right in between about 4 defenders, but perfect throw. Barrios
took another shot.
Kind of shaking his left arm.
He's going to definitely need an ice bath after this
I think they're going to let him take a breather here as they brought number 17 in. I'll let you pronounce that one.
Oh, boy. Poundala?
That may be the last name. Yeah. Pronounce that first name.
Parkashaya?
Parkashaya Padyal. Maybe.
Padshaw? Yeah.
That takes the ball all the way to the 36-yard line of Lake Norman.
We'll call him Padyal. As there is a snap to Padyal, who's in here. He throws his first pass, and it's going to go incomplete as he was trying to get that on the far side of the field to Wooten. And, again, all this unofficial that we have here on our Cannon Pharmacy scoreboard, Mark, we have an update on A.L. Brown, West Cabarrus. A.L. Brown 14, West Cabarrus 16. That one final.
Oh, that's a final?
That is a final according to what Max
They
Preps
must
is
have
saying.
kicked the field goal late. That was 14-13 for a long time.
And then we got a text from Chris asking about the Concord game. According to Max Preps, I'll give an update after this here. Barrio's back in there. Burns one to Wooten. What a dart he threw. And that gets him inside the Pizza Hut red zone all the way down to the 19, 18. They're still walking to the 17-yard line.
Good throw and catch.
He threw an absolute bullet in there to Wooten.
Perry's saying that Concord is trailing 17-0 in the fourth quarter.
Yep, that's what I was seeing. Trailing 17-0 to South Rowan.
I'd say that's a mild upset.
I would agree with you on that one. Barrios hands this one off to the ball carrier who goes right up the middle, keeps his legs turning, and a good piece of run in there from Kelly.
Kelly's ran the ball hard today.
That puts the ball up to the 10 now. So a first in, it's going to be a first in about 2. I think they can get another first down here. They should be able to get.
Got to get to about the 7.
So it should be a second and about 3.
Yeah, I'll call it 2nd and 3.
Clock down to 7.5 here. They put 2 receivers each way. Give it off to Kelly again, who runs right into the pile, and he's going to be stopped short at the 9.
Lake Norman band's playing now while play goes on.
Oh, boy. We have a little battle here. The band's trying to make noise during the game. And whistles on the field.
Injured player down for Hickory Ridge.
Right in
the middle where the ball was.
Training staff trots out there, and it gives us a chance to thank them. All the trainers and athletic trainers and student trainers from Atrium Health. Huge shout out to all of them to make it possible for all these athletes to be able to participate in their sport, because they have to be at every practice, every game, all that stuff for all these athletes in all sports, whether it's football, gymnastics, lacrosse, field hockey, any of them.
Do we have gymnastics?
That I know of. We did when I was in school. They might have got rid of it.
I don't think I got gymnastics here.
They don't? Oh,
no.
See, from Indy, where I'm from, we had a gymnastics team.
You rich people out in Indiana.
We had gymnastics there, so I threw it out there.
Y'all sell all that corn, and you're able to.
Yes, we do. We got some corn there. Yeah, we had a gymnastics team. We had.
You don't have as many windmills as Iowa does, though. I don't think.
No, we got
But they're
some.
catching up to them.
We are. Most of ours are up more towards the northern part of the state, up near like Chicago and Gary and all that is.
Up there near Valparaiso, Indiana.
Yep, up that way. They're all more towards the north.
I've been to Valparaiso a few times.
Is a 3rd down and 2 here. Ball at the 9. Barrios set to throw. Throws it into the flat, caught by Roberts, who reaches forward.
He's short by a yard, I think.
The spot shows he's right at it. They put their hands up showing 4th down. And like you said, he's short by about a yard, Mark.
Yeah, he's got to get to the 7. They got him to the 8.
And I think you got to go for it.
Oh, you have to, without a doubt.
You got to.
Yeah, you got to. Field goal won't do anything but make you feel a little bit better.
And they're going to line up here, put Kelly in the backfield, 2 receivers each direction, 4th down and 1. Barrios shifts Johnson in motion. Now Johnson goes from right to left out of the slot. Johnson now comes back and will go back into the left slot. Barrios steps back with Kelly behind him, play clock down to 5. There's the snap. They give it to Kelly. Kelly goes up the middle. He's hit right there at the line of the scrimmage and shoved backwards, and they don't get it.
Well, your man number 11 that dropped the interception, Will Minter, was there waiting on the ball carrier before he got to the line of scrimmage.
He was. He split a gap right between that line, and like he said, he was sitting there with his arms open, just ready to give him a big old hug.
He looked like he broke the huddle with Hickory Ridge.
Yeah, that's what it looked like, because he knew exactly what was coming, and he was standing there waiting over, and that's a turnover on downs. And the Lake Norman Wildcats get the ball at their own 10 with 6:15, leading 36-14. And that one right there, Mark, you have to feel like it's a dagger.
Yeah, that's probably just one of the final nails. barring some turnovers or something really, really dramatic.
They put trips right, short side of the field. Hand this one off to the ball carrier there of Morris. Morris with the huge run, runs over 3 guys and gets it all the way out to the 30. Still running strong is Morris.
Morris hit Cameron Woodcock, I believe it's Cameron Woodcock, number 9, and just knocked him just to the ground. After he just got hit hard.
Yeah. I mean,
I tell you what, Morris, between the 2 running backs are really good for Lake Norman. They run hard. They accelerate when they find an opening.
And they run north to south quick. And put trips again right, 1 left, working from left to right after the 20-yard run from Morris. Gets the ball out to the 30. Morris still in there in the backfield. They give it back to Morris. Morris comes near side this time, across the right hash, working towards the numbers and gets it across the 40 before being brought down at the 41. And another first down for Morris. Back-to-back plays of over 10 yards from Morris.
We've got a new quarterback out there for this drive. Haynes Robitazer. Number 4.
Oh, I didn't catch that. Yeah, Haynes Robitazer, the junior.
He's probably just got there to hand off.
Yep. Hey, Robitazer heads in.
Riggleman comes in to wide receiver. He had a big reception earlier.
Morris still in the backfield behind the quarterback. There is the snap. He gives it to Morris. It's not Morris, as they made a sub at running back as well.
Yep, that's our man, Jaden Nordfeld.
Yep, Nordfeld again. He's doing it again. They keep switching these running backs in and out. I mean, Morris had 2 plays of over 10. They pulled Morris out, put Nordfeld back in there again.
We hadn't been keeping stats, but I would say their running backs both are probably close to 100 yards.
Yeah, and they were coming in here averaging on the ground 81 and a half yards with Morris. He was the leading runner for the team.
And we had that 38-yard run earlier in the game. 40. No, that's a pass play. 38-yard run by Morris to start things off the scoring.
And he had 40 just right there. He went for 20, and then he just went for 10. So he had 30 right there. There is the snap. They give it off to Norfeld again, but pulls it and throws it, and that one almost intercepted and off the fingertips of the defender.
That's a Wolcott.
There.
Well, Wolcott, he could see the goal line.
He could. If he would have got his hand on that one, he was taking it to the house.
He just couldn't get both hands on it, and then we got a timeout on the field.
Looks like maybe an injured Hickory Ridge player there, kind of shaking up. 44 maybe? He's kind of favoring that shoulder.
Yeah,
44.
he is. He's looks like he's got that right arm looks kind of dead as he comes to the sideline.
I got Kingston Young is 44 here for Hickory Ridge, the one that was shaking up. Who you got?
That's what I've got too. We've got 2 in a row now.
We are on it there. Yeah, he's favoring that right shoulder, as you said, as he takes a knee here on the near sideline.
Yeah, I think we've got 3 different versions of rosters here tonight.
We do.
Lake Norman seems to be pretty set, but the Hickory Ridge seems to be a little in flux on the roster.
And I'll tell you something right now. This is one of the first games they've played where it's been chillier at night.
Yeah.
And the hits hurt so much more.
Yeah,
you get a stinger. And those stingers hurt so much more in this cool weather. There's 4 minutes left here.
Big 3rd down now. Could get the ball back.
Set to throw, throws middle of the field, and that's in and out of the hands of the intended target, who should have made the catch there of Garcia, the
Jeremiah Garcia. And he's one of the subs in there, and he just dropped the first down reception.
That hit him right in the hands.
Robitazer made a good throw, hit him right in the numbers.
Robitazer threw one in there, like you said, hit Garcia right in the hands at the Hickory Ridge 45, and he couldn't hold on to it, drops it. The punting team heads out here for the Wildcats.
One of the offensive linemen come over to Garcia and pats him on the head and said catch the next one.
That's all you can say. You can't have that one back.
Got to go next play.
Johnson stands back at his own 15.
36-14 the score.
Low snap, able to get it way, though. And that one, I think, touches the Hickory Ridge player. Now they're fighting for the ball, and I don't know who's going to jump on it. It's now kicked, and it's still loose. It looks like the Wildcats jump on top of it, and it is a Lake Norman Bulls that hit one of the Hickory Ridge players on the far side of the field. And Lake Norman gets it. And that's nothing but just a long pass play, basically, as Lake Norman's going to get the ball all the way up at around the, what is this, the 10-yard line?
Looks like the 17.
The 17-yard line is where they're going to get it. I thought they were up a little farther than that, but the 17-yard line, great field position there. Now they're going to talk about it and see if he actually touched it.
The recovery on that play looked like the old Oakland Raiders holy roller with Dave Casper and Ken Stabler, and forced the rule change that in NFL. They're going to be a penalty, I think, against.
No, they're going to say that's Lake Norman ball. That's what the signal is. That's,
is it? Okay. Yeah. I thought they were getting ready to mark it up.
Oh, no, that's Lake Norman ball. That hit one of the Hickory Ridge players. Might have been Johnson, who was trying to get the ball off his shoulder pad, and then it was just a mad scramble for the football. Hit him at the 30, and now they get all the way to 17. They give it all off to Norfelt, who runs up the middle, still on his feet, gets hit by one guy, shakes him off, and then runs into a pile and gets it up to the 16. So pick up a 1.
They like keeping that clock rolling. They're gonna play hard at the end, but they don't necessarily feel like they have to do anything spectacular. They're just trying to run the clock out.
So I'll pick up a 2, puts the ball at the 15 as the clock runs down to 2:50. Play clock 25. So just taking their time, like you said, Mark. No reason to rush anything in here.
Mount Pleasant's taking charge. Looks like the Mount Pleasant 36, Union Academy 14. That's in the fourth quarter. So the Tigers look like they'll go to 6-1.
Coach Daniel Crosby there.
Stay unbeaten in the Yadkin Valley.
As they hand this one off again to Norfelt, who works left. He'll pick up a yard and get it to the 14 before being brought down.
Yeah, Perry's saying the West Cabarrus giving us the same score. West Cabarrus 16, A.L. Brown 14 as a final.
Wow, that would be big if they went in there and pulled that upset, because I didn't think there was a whole lot of people who gave a whole lot of credit to West Cabarrus this year, but that program this year seems to be rolling.
They showed flashes last year. They started off kind of poorly, but they showed a little bit of improvement just constantly all season long.
Set to throw the quarterback, and that one is going to be caught over near the 4-yard line. Looks like it's number 11 over there with the catch. It's going to be Will Minter. Is that who that was? Who plays linebacker with a catch?
Yeah, I think he was lined up as a tight end and just came off the.
No, it's 17.
17. That's Cooper Riegelman. Riegelman, I made a couple big catches in the game.
So from way over there on the far side of the field, tough to see if that was a 17, 11.
Looks like they're at the 2.
So first down and goal here with the ball at the 3. Hand it off to Norfelt, goes left, and
he's still at the 3.
I'm going to say he actually lost a yard there, Mark. I'm going to back him up to the 4.
If they choose to, they could take kneel downs here
and just go out of here.
Yeah, 1:15 left. So, a second down. They would have to snap. They would have to snap it at least one more time.
Yep, run it down to 40, snap it, and that is the ball game here.
Well, they might have to snap it twice. We're about 16 seconds and 58 on the game clock. That'd be 42 seconds.
Yeah. If they can run a 2-second play here, let's see what decides to happen. There's the snap. They get it. They fake the handoff. They throw it, and it's going to be caught in there for a touchdown. And I can't tell who caught it because he's laying on his back right now. He's not standing up yet. And he's in a pile of white jerseys, so I'm not sure we're going to find out who did catch it. As he comes out.
Probably not making any friends by throwing the ball.
14, I'm going to say, is who caught that.
So Robitazer.
Oh, yeah.
With
I'm not going to.
2-yard pass to, what did you say, number 14?
Yeah, that's Kobayashi. Oh, boy, I don't know how to say. How would you say that?
Kobazuski?
Yeah, Kobazuski.
I'm leaving out a couple syllables there, but.
Yeah. Names are pretty difficult on this Lake Norman team.
Yeah, I didn't think we were going to Eastern Europe for this game.
Yeah, there's some tough names on here, but still, all in all, tough names or not, talented football team.
Tough football team.
Talented football team. 38 seconds left here on the clock. The score 42-14 as we await the extra point.
There's a flag on the play.
Delay a game. Didn't have enough bodies out there.
Probably got some subs out there, and they're trying to get a few guys some extra playing time. And
the man jogging on late was 51, Chase Davis, the offensive lineman, jogging on a little late there.
You got a backup quarterback in, giving him some reps. I'm guessing that's why you throw the ball.
Yeah.
You could have ran the clock out. And you won't make any friends by doing that.
No. You will not make any friends by doing that.
Somebody down the line will remember if you get the opportunity.
Yeah, if they get the opportunity next year to put some points up, they will do the same thing as we await the extra point. After the penalty, it backs the ball up to the 15, so it'll make it a 25-yard field goal attempt here for Lake Norman.
After this, I'll tell you an Easy Smith story. Central Cabarrus win number 1.
The kick, it's up, and it is good. The score, 43-14, 38 seconds left here in the ball game, and Mark has us an update on the Cannon Pharmacy scoreboard for Central Cabarrus.
Vikings 37, East Rowan 20, Central Cabarrus win number 1 of the season. And
love to hear that for head coach Belavacqua.
Zach Bevilacqua. Easy Smith told me this story. He said he was coaching girls JV basketball, and Monroe just ran the score up on them, just pressed them the whole game, just beat the crap out of Concord team, and they're shaking hands with the coaches at the end. And he says, "I don't know when it'll be, but says there'll be a payback coming." He said he had a really good football team when he was a varsity football coach too. Goes to Monroe. And just puts a tattoo on them, about 40-something to nothing. Never let up the dogs. Just keep on going. And as they're shaking hands with the Monroe coach near midfield, Easy said, "Ask your JV girls basketball coach what this was about."
Oh.
And
yeah, he paid him back.
yeah, the payback.
It may not have been in the right. It may have been in a different sport, but. Hey, he didn't lift up. As Lake Norman kicks a directional one again, that's going to bounce out of bounds. And
They don't really care, I don't think.
no, I don't think they do.
They're trying to keep that, throw it over there in the spot where there's nobody, and try to find a way to just kind of spin that in and make it stay in play.
And they've done it once. As you saw, they had to knock it out with Johnson there. They did it at the 28, and Johnson thought it was going to go out. And at the last second, he had to swat it out of bounds just to be able to keep the football. And they've done it once, and it's been executed well on that one play. It's only one time all they've been able to do executing it.
Mount Pleasant scored again, 43-14 over Union Academy. After it was close for a while, and Tigers have just gradually built the lead. It's kind of like this one, at 43-14, and let me make sure that's what their score is.
There's the snap to Barrios. Barrios set to throw, goes into the flat to Johnson, right side. Johnson takes it, ducks the shoulder, and he'll be hit and knocked into the Lake Norman sideline there. And a flag flies in from the official on the
maybe another 15-yarder. Things are getting a little chippy out there now, too.
They are. They definitely are getting chippy as Johnson makes the catch and gets hit, thrown into the far side Lake Norman sideline at the...
Barrios has been roughed, 3 times tonight?
3. And then he got his head about ripped off twice.
And then they called holding. That was puzzling to me. I guess maybe if you get him by the throat, you're okay, but at the very least, that one looked like a high hit to me, but that was back in the first half.
That was back in the first half. Then he had the face mask in the third quarter back at his own.
And he was just kind of off his – that just took him completely off his cleats.
And after this penalty, it moves the ball all the way up to the Lake Norman 40, and that's where the Hickory Ridge Ragin Bulls have the ball with 31 seconds, trailing 43-14. First down and 10 here.
If you're the Bulls, you want to get something just build a little momentum.
Yep, just for pride here. They're going to put 2 receivers each way here. Johnson in the backfield behind Barrios. Johnson out in the flat. That's where he goes with it. Johnson makes the catch just in front of the line of scrimmage. Now dancing around, fighting towards the 40. He's going to lose a yard.
Yeah.
Back to the 41.
Let's see if they call timeout, and they do.
And head coach Jupiter Wilson
take one more shot down the field.
Out.
Now this is they would have let the clock run out, I believe, had they not thrown for that last touchdown down on the goal line. So now we're going to throw one more time if you're Hickory Ridge into the end zone.
Mm-hmm.
And just hope somebody doesn't get into a fight here at the end.
Yeah, and who knows? They may end up throwing it 2 or 3 times, depending on how much time comes off the clock and if they fall incomplete, Mark.
And I think that's the last Hickory Ridge timeout. 41-yard line, 18 seconds, 43-14.
Yeah, I think that's their last timeout, but if it falls incomplete for a shot for the end zone.
Yeah, you can get a couple more plays. It's second down.
It's only second down.
Don't forget, today's ball game is brought to you by Ben Minot. Shop, click, and drive, benminot.com, by the Independent Tribune, by Cannon Pharmacy, home of free delivery, by Wilkinson Funeral Home, the Independent Tribune, independenttribune.com, the Carolina Renaissance Festival, the Southern Christmas Show, and by our friends over at the Carolina Pizza Huts.
Second down and 10, trips left, 1 right. Barrios steps up in the pocket, now rolls right, throws. That one's off the hands of the intended target as he tried to get that one over to his tight end there. It's the first time we've called his name today.
Yeah.
That's going to be Samuel Christ.
Just right through his hands on the sideline. He would have caught that and stepped out of bounds. 11 seconds. And it's going to bring up third down and 11.
The Bulls line up again here with a 3rd and 11 and the ball at the Lake Norman 41. Facing a 3rd and 11 here. 11 seconds left. Score 43-14. Lake Norman on top. Trips left, 1 to the right. Working from right to left. Barrios throws. Looks deep, far side of the field, and it's overthrown. It almost picked off. It looks like that's a 22 over there. Jeremiah Mitchell.
I wonder if he's any kin to Jeremy Mitchell, because Jeremy Mitchell's been out there on that corner all night long. He's had a couple of really, really good defensive plays.
They might be twins, to be honest with you.
They look the same, just have different numbers.
Because one's 2, one's 22. They're both defensive backs, and they're both sophomores. So they might be twins there, Mark.
Could be. This is likely the last play of the game. 5 seconds, 4th down.
Trips left, 1 right. Barrios steps up in the pocket, rolls left, goes to the middle field. It's going to be caught and absolutely gets pounded after making the catch there is going to be Roberts.
Jalen Glover is the man who delivered the blow. And, boy, that's a slobber knocker there.
Yeah, he caught that, and like you said, that defender had about a 5 or 6 yard run towards the guy who made the catch of Roberts, and he gets buried, and Roberts gets up slow and trying to catch his breath.
He got drilled.
He's sitting down here on the near sideline.
The training staff needs to get out there to him. He's
wobbling.
He is wobbling.
He's not feeling too great.
And that was quite a hit by Glover. Well, this was a close ball game. You'd never know it by the score. The last kind of tack-on touchdown when they threw with less than a minute to go on the goal line made it 43-14. Going to the fourth quarter, we were 22-14 in favor of Lake Norman.
And it was a good game up until then.
Yeah, I don't think Lake Norman ever felt threatened. We were tied at 7 at one point after the Johnson 5-yard run. Early on, 38-yard run by Moses Morris. Morris had a big game running. Also, the other back 15, Jaden Nordfeld, he had a big ball game. And, of course, Kraft throwing the ball all over the yard. A couple of interceptions for Hickory Ridge by, we believe it was Deontay Parks, had 2 interceptions.
Yep, Devontae Parks.
One of those kept it a close game. Cut that down on the goal line and turned away the Lake Norman team, and they got a 4th down stop in the fourth quarter, deep in in the first quarter, that kept this close.
Yeah, I think that stop, like you're talking about, that stop that was early in the game after that 73-yard drive that they had that ended in that 38-yard run from Morris, that next drive, they made that big stop after Lake Norman had that false start there to start that drive, put them behind the chains. They make that stop there at the 15, then they drive down the field, and that's when they scored. And I think that's what just made them think, okay, hold on here. Our defense can hold them.
Yeah.
We can do this. And it looked like you really saw that spark. And in the whole third quarter, that defense stood strong in the third quarter for the Bulls. But they just wore them down so much in that third quarter.
Ridge got the ball into Lake Norman territory, were not able to convert. He had too many trips into the, I would say, inside the 40-yard line, inside the 30.
Yep.
And coming away with no points. And you've got to find a way to convert, to make a few more plays if you're Hickory Ridge. I think you've got to be a little bit more encouraged because, coming in here, everybody thought Lake Norman was going to just roll over. And the score looks like that. But that's not the score. Going to the fourth quarter, this was a 1-touchdown football game.
Yeah, I agree. It was not. I didn't expect it to be as tight as it was, like you said.
And if you're Lake Norman, you missed some conversions as well. You threw a couple of interceptions that you didn't want to throw, but you got to be really encouraged. Your freshman quarterback threw some really good balls today. Your two running backs ran hard. Your defensive line was just outstanding all day.
Yeah.
Not a lot of runs except that one long breakaway run for Hickory Ridge, and so something encouraging for both teams.
Yeah, a lot to come out of here with both teams. Like you said, you go and you put 14 up in this team in the first half, kept yourself in the game, had a shot to be within one or possibly tie the game on that first drive. In the second half, just unable to convert, and like you said, they just wore them down in that third quarter. It was just good old-fashioned slobber knocker football right there in the third quarter. Two teams just playing tough football against each other, and just got wore out. Hickory Ridge did, it look like, and Lake Norman just kind of turned it on there fourth quarter, then scored that one late.
Three touchdowns, one of them coming in the final minute on a pass play. Like I say, with the reserves in, but throwing a pass when they could have taken a knee and ended the football game.
And I know you fall down to 0-8 is Hickory Ridge, but you're going into a bye week this week, and you got Cox Mill, a team that you are more than capable of beating Cox Mill, because Cox Mill's struggling this year as well. And then you got West Cabarrus, a tough test at the end of the year. But, there's nothing to hang your head on. You're going into a bye week. Get healthy and get ready for Cox Mill. You still got a shot to win some football games. I know you're 0-8 and you don't like seeing that, don't like people saying that, none of that. You don't like hearing not winning games. But look at it every week. You want to go in and be 1-0.
Right.
You're pretty much eliminated from playoffs, but you still have to come in here, play the game, keep your head up, and leave it out there on the field, because your head coach is prepping over there like it means everything to him, because it does. He loves the game of football. He was an offensive lineman at UNC, made it to that next level, and he loves this school. Jupiter Wilson does.
Oh, yeah.
He coaches girls basketball, track and field, the football team, and he wants nothing more than this team here to succeed, just like the other three coaches. So he's going to give it everything he's got, and he's going to ask the same thing out of his players. Lake Norman, on the other hand, they know they got a very talented football team. Look for them to make a good run throughout the season here.
And they still got their rival Morrisville looming at the end of the season too.
Yeah,
so
but two easy games in the next few games for them.
Well,
they got Cox Mill, South Iredale, and then Mooresville.
You think easy games.
Yeah, they thought this one was as well, and they had a test on their hands until the end. So, like you said, Lake Norman now moves up to 5-2 on the season. Good-looking football team.
Oh, absolutely. And we saw a good football game for the most part. 3 quarters, this was a one-score game. Final score is 43-14. Lake Norman over Hickory Ridge. For James Red Melick, I'm Mark Plemmons. Let's give you a couple more Cannon Pharmacy scoreboard updates. We do have a final coming in from Mount Pleasant. That's our other game we broadcast tonight. John Von Cannon, Chris Hudson on our Facebook page broadcasted there. The final score there was Mount Pleasant 43 and Union Academy 21. West Cabarrus with a win tonight, kicking a field goal, looked like late, to beat A.L. Brown 16-14. Central Cabarrus got their first win of the season, coming away with a win up at East Rowan. We have not seen a final coming in from Concord. Last we heard, it was South Rowan 17-0 over Concord.
That's what I'm seeing here. Still the update. Fourth quarter, South Rowan 17, Concord nothing. That's what I'm still seeing is the update on that one as well.
Okay. Well, that should wrap us up. Unless there's anything else.
No, I'm just
James,
scrolling.
before we get out here.
I'm just scrolling real quick here to look and see. That one we talked about, that big matchup, we thought that was going to be good. South Point Kings Mountain, it's a good one. Fourth quarter, 28-21. So a good matchup there. But, that's about all there is really here for updates that we got. We hit all the schools around this area. It was a great football game. I'm excited to see what next week's got, because each game gets bigger and bigger, gets closer and closer to the end of the year, and each game just means you're prepping to make the playoffs, and the challenges get tougher and tougher. I'm excited. It just feels like last week we were saying, hey, football's back. Now we're saying, hey, playoffs are in 3 weeks.
Hey, we have a lot of fun. If you can't tell it, we hope that you know that we have fun doing these games, and we love to see the teams doing well and having fun as well, competing. Lake Norman 43, Hickory Ridge 14. For James Red Melick, I'm Mark Plemmons for 45 Sports and Radio Free Cabarrus, and from everyone here at Hickory Ridge.